The Cloward-Piven strategy was developed by Richard Cloward and Francis Piven in the 1960s. It outlines a strategy for radical social change by way of abusing the system to the point of destruction.
We were associated with the social work tradition, which said that the programs worked as they were supposed to work. But they didn't work as they were supposed to work. And it was out of that realization, that insight, that we developed the strategy to end poverty, which called for a massive mobilization of social workers and lawyers and organizers to get people the benefits to which they were entitled. We were proposing a kind of movement that demanded what people were already entitled to by law, by regulation, by propaganda.
The primary goal of the Cloward-Piven strategy is to create a political and economic crisis that would destroy capitalism and lead to the implementation of a socialist system with a guaranteed income. The strategy involves enrolling large numbers of people into the welfare system, as many people as it takes to overwhelm and strain the system until it collapses. Everyone enrolled into the welfare system is also used as an army to carry out the destruction of the current system. They are registered to vote and instructed on how to vote. They are organized and mobilized and made to appear as grassroots organizations demanding more from the system. The ideal outcome of the Cloward-Piven strategy is to collapse the current system. According to their theory, this will compel the government to implement a universal basic income, which would then shift the U.S. towards a more socialist system with increased government control over the economy. Everyone is being encouraged to do it. Burn it down is the new sexy ring. In high school, they compare it to the American Revolution.
The Cloward-Piven strategy is a political gambit designed to overwhelm the American government by placing so many demands on the bureaucratic structure that it collapses. It's sort of a shock and awe campaign, a surprise attack on entrenched systems meant to force major changes to the ways that things are handled by the government. It may be messy, but it does harken back to a fundamental ideology of the American Republic. If it ain't fixed, break it.
All of this explains the likes of AOC.
What people like AOC are doing, what the squad is doing, is really very important, very important. But at the same time, there is this movement which is so big. Some people say it's the biggest movement in American history. It's hard to know because it's hard to measure a movement, but it is big and it is interracial and it penetrates into every small town. I now am in upstate New York. The town I'm closest to has maybe 2,000 people. We have little demonstrations in front of the post office for Black Lives Matter. And this is Trump country. Nevertheless, there is a Black Lives Matter demonstration. So it's a very potent and important moment in American political development. And we have to make the most of it, because if we don't know what's going to happen, but it's not going to be good.
Reporting for InfoWars, this is Greg Reese.
We don't know what's going to happen, but it's not going to be good.
All right. Now look at this freak show that's literally trying to run our lives here. Are you seeing this, Jack?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Welcome back to the continued orchestrated collapse of this living piece of dog shit we're forced to call our society. I'm your host, Reg Maleska. Hope to be here with you for at least the next couple hours. Thanks for joining, Jack. Big love.
Cheers,
Good to see you. Got a couple more here. Down here, looks like Joey's trying, but he's not really coming in. And we got another guest here. what is it? Secretary of the Treasury. Ah,
Hey,
sweet. Welcome, Secretary of the Treasury. We're just talking about you. But I mean, look at this old bat on the screen once again. Look at her eyes. Don't even look in the same direction. See?
wow.
It's one of these freaks. Now, I've heard of the Cloward and Piven strategy for a while. This is apparently Piven, right? And it's some other old boy. I mean, look at these geriatrical freaks that are literally, I mean, she's, oh, we came up with the strategy, Cloward and Piven, because they talk about it all the time for collapsing a country and turning it into a communist hellhole, right? And
Sure.
here's the old bat. Hey, look at this shit. We're supposed to listen to this?
Wow, dude.
Yeah, and this is what gets me. And this is why I wanted to start with that, because it goes right along with what we're saying. I mean, right now coming up, what is it? June 1st is when the government has to re-up, right? Or they'll default or whatever. The debt ceiling must be raised. They got to spend another 1.5 trillion in the next 6 months or what the ever, right?
Right.
And so, I mean, the default is going to be a perfect way for them to collapse the currency, bro. What do you think?
Well, listen, the government acts like major corporations that I know. What they do, and I'm sure you've seen this, they have a budget for whatever office it is, like say the maintenance department or the engineering office. They have a certain budget, all right?
Hey,
And if they meet that
I'm wondering
budget,
why I don't hear you that well. The volume's not really. I mean,
Really?
I'm cranking up my volume.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but I mean, I'm like straining.
Okay. Well, can you hear me now?
We can hear you, yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, I think it's kind of like companies. They have budgets for maintenance or engineering, right? And so if they don't meet their budget every year, if they don't spend the same amount of money, they don't get as much money the next year. Well, we've done that so many times as a company, the United States, we can't do it anymore. I mean,
That's what gets me about it. This entity, the government, loses literally trillions every year, and yet they still have a AAA credit rating, right? I mean, can I get one of those?
when you print the money, though, brother.
Well, it's the Fed Reserve printing it, right? Not even part of the government. It's
Oh, no. Yeah,
the
it's
Reserve
Fed
Bank, you know?
You're right. It's a private bank that's printing.
Yeah,
You're
private bank, and it's loaning them all the trillions to
right.
put us in.
But at the debt, okay, whatever the debt is, but it's on our backs. It's not on the
Yeah.
government.
100%.
Yeah, see that?
Written on all our backs. So welcome, Shadow. How's it going? Welcome, Joey. How you doing? Anybody?
Cheers, brother.
Right on, right on.
Great to be here.
Sweet. Good to have you, man. Good to see you.
Cheers, Shadow.
I was listening
Gracias,
in.
el americano.
Ah, there he is. What's he saying now?
He said,
Gracias, gracias, el americano.
"Gracias." Cheers.
Assy ass all around, right? Cheers, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Let me go get a smoke.
Now, Jack,
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I have to comment quickly on your last stream, which I thought was the best one ever.
Oh, did
I
you?
mean, holy shit, that was so awesome. I mean,
I hope so.
you guys remind me that I do my best work when I'm pissed off. You do your best work when you're in, great state of mind. The stories were awesome. My saying of the week was literally, I got a baboon heart in my chest.
Got a baboon heart in my chest, Raymond.
Baboon heart. Yeah. No, dude, I'm saying it all fucking week, man.
That's all right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that story.
Yeah,
I had to
man.
listen to that stream a couple times.
Yeah, no, that was a good one. I mean, I was in the right state of mind for that. And,
100%.
Reg, I was doing it for the moms, and I know how much your mother means to you and all that, and mine too, and my grandma and my wife and everyone, And so I think it came across pretty good.
Absolutely. It was awesome. I'm still trying to figure out how to download it. But yeah, you should download that one onto a drive or something, because we're going to need that one. I like that. I mean, it was just the whole feel, the whole vibe, everything was awesome.
Yeah, and there was a little bit of stuff that came in, and but I didn't have any negative thoughts during that stream once.
For sure. I mean, I was so proud of you. You said what you're going to do. You did it. There was no curse words. There was no negativity. You didn't do any drinking, didn't smoke anything, man. I was 3 beers in, right?
Of course, hey, that was why I wanted to try that for everyone, so they could see what a clear clear Jack stream really was.
100%. We all loved it. I mean, I'm sure everybody did. Like Slowboy says right here, Jack's Mother's Day live stream was awesome. Totally agreed. Totally agreed with that.
Cigarettes and no beer and nothing, right? So I think that those demons are let in whenever I drink beer, and I'm not drinking tonight, but when I drink beer or whenever I smoke the cigarettes, right, and I curse, I think sometimes that's let in, you know.
Yeah, you know, I've been thinking about that a lot too, and I gotta do some curtailing of my own consumption.
Well, listen, Reg, it's not that I'm trying. It's just that when we're on with everyone, I don't want to put off negativity anymore. I've done that enough, and I've done it on your stream, and but that's what makes for what we are. But I think we're trying to evolve it, go further with it, you know.
Right. This is gonna be tough to not be negative with the headline I got. Right. I mean, you see the drug up the old Economist cover with the Phoenix rising above the ashes, and of course, it's got the digital Bitcoin type looking emblem on the front. I mean, they predicted this. That was back from '88, you know.
Those Economist covers are always a trip, aren't they?
Oh fuck, man! That's some predictive programming.
Went on, they really do.
For sure. Yeah, that one definitely caught my eye, right? And so I was sitting here thinking about it. Now, if they default on the debt, then that will pretty much knock the freaking dollar out, right? It'll collapse, all the currencies behind it, and this is how they'll usher everybody into the whole digital Fed coin or whatever the fuck it's going to be, the B system.
You mix that with what Kristen has been showing on her channel and with my videos on the immigration, it shows that what they're really trying to do at the southern border isn't, the immigrants are always going to come. We know that. But they're going to make such a big deal out of it. They're going to do the federal ID thing, and they're really going to push that through.
For sure. I mean, it's a done deal. There was also a story I saw today that a whole train car full of explosive type material that you make bombs with just disappeared. They think it leaked out. And I'm like, oh my God, listen to this bullshit, right? And so they're launching investigations, of course, and I'm sure we'll get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Did the dancing Israelis find it?
I'm sure. They're freaking grandkids.
Well, they're kids, possibly. They're all dual Israelis.
Yeah. Welcome, Q1. Marcus in the building. Welcome everybody in here too.
Cheers, guys.
Rev Truth, Slow Boy, everybody. Looking like she could post a pic in the comments of her cute grandson. Yeah, hell yeah. We want to see that. For sure. That'd be awesome. So, but yeah, everything's leading up to this collapse, right? This, which I keep saying is the only thing to worry about. Fuck the war, fuck the fake fucking everything else. The real fucking thing is going to be the currency collapse, because how you going to fucking buy anything, right?
Yeah.
To me, is going to.
Recently, Reg, my phone died, right? And so I had to get a new one, and I forgot.
Oh, that's probably what it is. You got a different phone, and so that's why we're having a little
and
audio.
But also with that comes re-signing up to all that stuff and all that mess. That's what's coming for us, with all this. It'll be through
your phone's going to be your.
Yeah, I believe that, and I think that people that's what they're getting people conditioned for.
100% agreed on that, and this is why they're giving all those illegals. I won't use their fake fucking migrant term. That's bullshit, right? I was writing a joke about that last night, right? And the first thing is, right, oh, if they're migratory, does that mean they're going to fucking leave at the end of summer? No. Obviously not, right? And so, but yeah, not a very funny joke, but I mean, no, the illegal.
Putting words together like that, that's the way you should do it. Migratory, like a flock of birds, or come on, right? I mean, that's so perfect.
Migrate the fuck back out.
Yeah, just go back, man. Listen, they say we're a country built on migrants. Okay, I get it, all that, right? Listen, the migrants built the country that we're in now. These migrants come in with their hands out in the systems that are already set forth. It's not the same. It's not the same.
Oh, absolutely, 100% not. It's to collapse it. Yes. For sure. And so, I mean, think about that. when they go ahead and collapse the currency, because we know that's coming. That's in the script.
Right.
And so, I mean, the Economist cover literally proves it. And so when that happens, I mean, yeah, they'll probably go ahead, and I'm thinking they'll probably go ahead and do some type of power outage, of course, too, right? And cut the power, do everything. I mean, their 6-month period of crisis that is used in the communist takeover, we're on the doorstep. And as soon as that happens, expect it to be 6 months, and it's going to be a shit show. But then they're going to end up offering you the new beast system. So, I mean, anything you're going to get from the government is going to be in that beast system. There's no longer going to be any freaking checks or any cash or any shit like that. So, what do you think about that, Jack?
Yeah. No, the beast system, they've shown us the religions that have the beast system, and that how that works, and their monetary systems, which, like you say, that's the true control. Also, not everyone goes to church, but everyone spends their money. So
yeah,
that's the way. That's the way.
Yeah, and the only way you'll be able to spend that money, this is why I'm glad I don't have any, right, is because you'll have to enter the beast system,
Right.
and other forms of currency will pop up like they always do. And I believe that for that 6 months period, food will be the currency, as well as anything else you can barter, such as tobacco, whiskey, all the things we talk about like that, right? And so June 1st coming up, what's your prediction? Will the government freaking borrow another few trillion? Yeah. So this is probably just hype right now.
Well, no, they're going to continue to bust it out, and then how they launder it is with the Ukrainian wars and the Chinese deals and all the other shit.
I still think it's going to be like Biden keeps saying, dark winter, right? And so it won't happen this summer. They're going to do it in the winter when it have maximum effectiveness, when the power goes out and everybody's freezing balls.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking. And oh shit, it's coming closer. But on the lighter side here, the good news for you all is that I did find a handwritten copy of my mom's will. And right there, it states in black and white that she turns her house over to me, and then everything else will be divided up amongst the others. And so I finally have a leg to stand on, but I've got a battle coming. I already know, because I'm sure that one of my brothers will contest it. I just talked to my one brother, and he's with me. And we're going to actually have I just texted him, and we're going to actually have a civil discussion tomorrow. We've already worked it out, because him and I were the only ones that ever did get along in our younger years, right? But he's with me, and it sounds like he's got some news for me. And so I'm sure I can already guess what it is. But I do have probably the strongest case. And in any event, anything that comes to me from my mother's estate will immediately go into a trust that I'm going to set up long before it gets settled. And it'll be a trust in her name. And so I will be the trustee, though. And anything I get from her will go immediately into that. So that way nothing can be attached by freak show entities, if you know what I mean. And so that's my plan. And I'm already looking into it. I already talked to some attorneys, blah, blah, blah. And it's not over yet. But at least I have, you can't imagine the piano lifted off my back when I read those words written by my mother, right? And this is back in 2000. So
that's great, man.
Thank you. And then on other awesome news, Jack, you want to tell them what you're going to take a vacation here? You thinking?
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to come down for the July 4th, so we can do something. It'd be good. I think we're going to have.
Are you getting married?
July 4th.
Yeah, we got to consummate the bromance.
Right, and best man. What the hell?
No, it would be a lot of fun. I guess what's happening here is, see, what used to happen with your old phone, Jack, is it had a powerful microphone, and you could hear you over, even though anybody else talks. Now, when somebody else talks, it cuts out. And so we're really going to have to take serious turns here.
Fine.
Right. And so we can hear Shadow still pretty good, though, but he's not very talkative today. Joey, he's just chilling. And there's, other stupid shit in the news. Like, I'm sure you heard that
Trump,
Biden's over
the
there.
Russians,
The what?
the denim report.
Oh, right. Oh, fuck. Well, we predicted that a long time ago, Jack. Remember we said that thing going to amount to shit.
That's right.
But yeah, they're preaching about nuclear de-escalation in a city they nuked. I love that one. That was hilarious, right? I mean, yeah, they're over there in like Hiroshima or Nagasaki, I'm guessing. Yeah, so, and it's like Slowboy says here, they investigated themselves and found no wrongdoing. Of course, right? That's how it goes. He wants his Reg. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Always.
Yeah, they'll always get out of it. None of them ever pay anything ever. I mean, the system's set up for them. Shit. Keywan says, Reg, watched the last stream about you and Jack meeting up. Consider doing a paranormal video. That would be cool to see. That would be awesome. Loken says, she talked to Slowboy, though. Remember that interesting guy I mentioned in Reg's last stream, Angry Catfish? He still has a YouTube channel. It's called Catfish Corner. It has the same avatar as his Rumble. Have to check that out. Loken, welcome. Thank you. Good to see you. Slowboy says buffering. Is it just me? Not sure. We are talking about the truth here. And so Loken says loading fine for me. Jack sounds a little low. Yeah, I think it's your new phone. Doesn't have quite as stringent as a microphone is what it is, I'm guessing. But
let me go out and then reconnect and see if it works.
Right on. Sounds good. Let's try that. And so I don't know what else I have to share. I think, oh shit, there's another Reese report that kind of ties into all this banker bullshit, but it's mostly about the whole pedo thing. We could pop that off. And then I have a few things on my Instagram that I'd like to check out too. Let me see if I can get this next Reese report. It's the too big to fail banks, right? And so it shows how they're all in there on it.
Two great products sold out for a year are finally back in stock. Activated charcoal toothpaste, essential oils, and
Okay, let's go ahead and pull that up and we'll pop it off and watch it while Jack is resetting. So here we go.
As illustrated in RFK Jr.'s book, The Real Anthony Fauci, AIDS and AZT was Fauci's first official go at state-sponsored depopulation. Celia Farber writes that Peter Staley is the most iconic AIDS activist in the world, and that he was the guy who made AZT happen. The well-hyped media story goes something like this. Young gay activist Peter Staley came out as a homosexual in 1985 and inspired his older brother, Jess Staley, to join him in the fight against AIDS, which for them meant demanding more drugs, faster drugs, and cheaper drugs from Big Pharma. While posing as the voice of the downtrodden LGBTQ consumer, with the almighty support of the mainstream media behind them, the two brothers demanded that Big Pharma put speed ahead of safety and efficacy. This campaign directly resulted in the rapid FDA approval of AZT in 1989. Big profits were made, shortcuts were taken, and AZT killed thousands. Jess Staley worked for J.P. Morgan Chase and became a pioneer of woke LGBTQ banking. And after 30 years at J.P. Morgan and 9 years as CEO of Barclays Bank in the UK, he resigned last year after an investigation into his ties with Jeffrey Epstein was launched as part of a U.S. Virgin Islands lawsuit. According to the lawsuit, J.P. Morgan knowingly, negligently, and unlawfully provided and pulled the levers through which recruiters and victims were paid, and was indispensable to the operation and concealment of the Epstein trafficking enterprise. Human trafficking was the principal business of the accounts Epstein maintained at JP Morgan. Jess Staley exchanged several hundreds of emails with Jeffrey Epstein, some of them coded like the infamous Pizzagate emails. Staley to Epstein, say hi to Snow White for me. Epstein to Staley, what character would you like next? Staley, Beauty and the Beast. Jess Staley is accused of forcibly and violently raping one of the victims, and is said to have told her that Jeffrey Epstein authorized him to do whatever he wanted to her. Jess Staley was set to take over for Chase CEO Jamie Dimon, who some believe will be charged with criminal conspiracy for his service to Jeffrey Epstein's child sex trafficking operations. A New York federal judge threatened JP Morgan Chase with contempt of court if it does not speed up in producing evidence related to Jeffrey Epstein. Jamie Dimon is scheduled to be questioned under oath later this month on his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Throwing gas on the fire, 19 Republican states just accused JP Morgan of closing bank accounts on political or religious grounds. In a letter to CEO Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan Bank is accused of canceling major organizations' checking accounts and then screening them with questions focused on religion and politics before reinstating them. The Federal Reserve Bank is not federal, and it holds no reserves. It is a private bank owned by its member banks, and overall owned by the same big banks deemed too big to fail, like JP Morgan Chase. So when the CBDCs come to supposedly save the day, remember that these banks are run by child rapists and human traffickers. Reporting for InfoWars, this is Greg Reese.
Wow, huh? See,
Wow.
that kind of ties in to what we're talking about too, because you know these type, rather than freaking even go to court, they're going to collapse everything, right? And so I think you sound better, Jack.
Yeah, I just put my earphones in.
Boom! Freaking, it's like a loudspeaker now. Hell yeah.
Yeah. These are really badass earphones. I don't wear them very often because they're wireless and I don't want brain cancer, but whenever I really do need to have a good conversation, I put them in.
Yeah. You just prolonged use is where that shit comes in. Occasionally,
Yeah.
use is not that bad, but no, we can hear
Well, I
you.
know I shouldn't even have them, and I'm aware of those kinds of things, but you know.
Say, I
It's
got
a
a baboon heart.
Right? I got a baboon heart. Look, I set that guy up, Reg. I was the setup man, kind of like what I do for you. You know, it's the same thing. You're the man on your stream. Everyone knows that, and so you know everything kind of feeds back towards you. Yeah,
I want to hear
and
that
I'm
voice,
really good.
though. I want to hear the voice.
Well, no, it's okay. It's okay. He didn't have that voice either. His was just a gruff, real, but he had a really distinctive voice. But it was really gruff, and he was a total asshole.
I got a baboon heart.
Yeah, he's like Raymond.
Raymond, why aren't you working?
Yeah, he's like, no, he came out there. It was like really early in the morning. You know, we had just woke up, everybody, and we were very young. So of course we partied all night the night before, and some of us, I didn't. I was married with children, but he came out there. He's like, what the hell? Why aren't y'all working? You know, it's like, dude, what are you doing, dude? We just got here. Yeah,
You should be
that kind
working
of guy.
in your sleep.
Yeah, he's like, I don't think the guy ever slept.
Yeah,
he went
with the baboon heart anyway.
No, you know, the baboon heart. I set him up so perfectly for that. I was like, did they put a animal heart in your chest, Uncle?
No, it's awesome. I still love that. I mean, I'm gonna go back and listen to it again. It cheers me up, man.
Yeah, my mom told me that she shared it on Facebook and got like 3,000 views on it.
Holy fuck!
Yeah,
I believe
so
it.
people, I believe it too, because Reg, it was one of those things where like if you speak and you don't really put any conspiracy in, and you don't put anything in, but you just speak on Christ, and that would get thousands of views too. You see what I mean? Like if you just go with like based talk, then people will watch it because you can share it. People, it's easy, it's easily digestible, and so like the people that watch us normally would they know what we think, so they share it, and the other people don't know what we think, but there's a kind of vibrational pitch to it that they kind of get that, well, these guys have a slant, something's going on here, but they're talking straight right now.
Oh, my
Yeah.
mom would
And-
love that. I mean,
oh no, that was made for your mother and mine, honestly, Reg. It was made for
that's
your
the
mom.
whole thing. I was like,
It was
Mom,
made for your. I carried your mother in my heart. You sent me those pictures, and then you posted them on Instagram. But you sent me those pictures, and plus with the pictures I have, I put
I love
that
those.
on my. I asked God to put those pictures on my heart and to send me the words. To let me have the words to speak to people like that, and I think He did.
Oh, absolutely. It showed 100%. Eternal Extrapolations in the house. Welcome.
Oh, I watched his live stream today.
I was on it all the whole time right before I came right on here just to get mine going, right? And I've been listening to it while I was working in the background, right? I didn't catch every word of it, but I was listening to it. I like to give everybody some watch time, right? If I can. Just
Right.
keep it going. Yeah.
Right.
But if you want to join in, please come in.
Absolutely.
That would be
Absolutely.
so awesome. It's been so long since we've had you on board. It'd be
It has
awesome
been.
to hear your killer voice as well, because we love that voice. And so if you're feeling like you want to pop on, John, or if you've talked too much, that's cool. It's always
Yeah, he talked for 4 or 5 hours today.
I know, right? But hey, he's like us. We can do it.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, he's Irish, so of course he's going to be. He has that in him to talk for long periods of time. Americans also have that.
It'd be nice to get an update of what's going on over there with you. That'd be awesome. And I wore a funny shirt for you guys today, and it's my Uncle Sam. I want you to party.
Yeah,
He's got a
I
beard.
love
in
it.
Yeah,
I love that.
I bought this for the 4th of July a couple years ago, right?
Oh, dude, you got to wear that with it on the 4th of July weekend.
That's 100% what's going to be happening.
Well, I guess the 4th of July, Reg, is on Monday, I believe,
Oh, yeah?
this year. I checked it out because I was going to come up for a few days. Like the minimum that I can come up is like 3 or 4 days. And I was going to rent a car and then drive wherever you are. That way you don't have to pick me up. And we have a solid vehicle to go wherever we want.
I kind of figured that. I would do the same thing if I was coming to you. I'd want to have.
Right. No, that way we have a base of operations and it's, plus your place. It'll be perfect, Reg. And then if we want to go to see the car jump, then we'll just take that rental and we'll bang that motherfucker over the mountains. Yeah, we will. I'm going to get full insurance, Reg, so we can go 100 miles an hour. Oh, Reg. Yeah.
We can't get full insurance and fucking let's launch that.
Full insurance. We're going to go for it, brother. We're going to go for it.
I was actually thinking, man, I got to find a $500 rig we can buy to launch.
Oh, well, that would be optimum if we could launch it. But listen, they drain everything out of it, but a half a quart of oil and a cup of gasoline so that there's no real, and no coolant. They just launch them down the hill, so it doesn't have any impact on the environment. Yeah.
I did a little more research too, and I found that out too. That within 2 days they have everything fucking scrubbed clean.
Everything's perfectly clean again. The EPA will check it and it'll be perfect. I checked that before because I mentioned it before I knew, and you said no, and then I researched.
I was being a dumbass though.
Well, no, but I could understand it, Reg. That's ridiculous. You let these people come up into your land and they launch cars off. Listen, but it's a spectacle, and I thought that you and I could go there and maybe do a live stream or some really good video.
Well, we're going.
And really, I think so.
I mentioned it to the boss. I went and picked up my check yesterday, and they said we got work on Monday, and I'm like, sweet, right? And so looking forward to that. And then I mentioned that I do have guests coming up on the 4th, and he said, oh, we're taking the 4th off anyway. And I'm like, sweet. And so it's already
well. If hey, and if it's a matter of you have to work. If I don't know what day I'm going to come up, I still haven't bought the tickets, but I'm going to buy them very soon, and I'm going to rent the car and everything real soon. So
that's awesome.
It would be real cheap if I did.
Yeah, I got spare rigs out here too. I'm getting one of them. I got to switch the title over and put some insurance on it, but I have a backup ride that can be used. But I mean, like I said, I would do the same thing if I was coming down there too. I'd rent my own vehicle because I want to.
No, this way you don't have to worry about me at all. Like I'm totally clear, and we can beat up that rental vehicle.
Hell yeah, for sure.
Yeah, anytime I rent a vehicle, brother, it's going to be driven. Oh yeah.
Yeah, this little place out where I'm out here out in the valley, it's pretty cool. It's not going to be Anchorage, which is cool, right? Anchorage is our big little city. That it's a little city trying to be a big city, right? And so, but out here in the valley, we got everything that one needs, of course, and there's all kinds of cool shit to do out here. Gonna send you maybe up to Talkeetna or something like that if you want to go fly over to see Denali, or if you want to go fly over a glacier. There's another place right here that does that. They literally land on the fucking glacier, and so there's a couple outfits like that right around here if you want to do that kind of a touristy.
No, I thought I'd just stick with you. I thought
Okay.
hey, you know what? And do the local thing. Just do the local thing, whatever that is. If it's going into a pub or going into just a place, or going to the creek, or just hanging out and hanging out in the backyard and talking.
We'll be doing that. We'll be doing that.
Yeah, just for like hours at a time. Yeah.
Yep, their barbecue's ready and whatnot. Jars of salmon waiting for you.
Oh yeah. See, this is what I'm talking about.
And then we could take a little burn up to Talkeetna up here, which is a pretty cool little podunk town that's got a real old Alaska vibe to it. And there's a river right there where the river boats rip up and down and stuff. Pretty sick. So we could go check that out. It's not that far. And there's plenty of cool stuff out here in the valley for sure.
Hell yeah.
It'd be a hell of a blast. And we're going to
Just
do a
being
live
together.
Stream. We'll do a live
Just
stream
being together
here.
is going to be off the hook, Reg.
We'll do a live stream here before we go
Yeah.
there, and then
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to stream from your phone because I can't. And so at the event, which will be fun.
Yeah, either we'll stream from the event, or I'll get this phone is just a backup phone. They sent me just an iPhone 11, but I've got an iPhone 14 Pro Max coming. So it's the newest one with 1 teraflop of data. We could we could record the entire event, then come back and edit it if you want to and work on it, or we could go live.
Too, for sure. I'll bring camera and a tripod so we can film the whole thing. And
I'm just gonna bring a handheld gimbal and real nice for steady cam work. Yeah.
That's awesome. You got one of those. Awesome.
Yeah.
Badass. Yeah. Forrest had one, and those things are tight.
No matter what you do, it looks real smooth. Yeah.
It's like having a freaking movie studio going on. Yep. So John says he might be able to pop on for a moment. Says he's still awake. Yep. It's got to be early morning over there for him. And that'd be awesome. As soon as I see him, if he pops in down there, we'll pop him on too. And so, yep.
Absolutely.
That's the big news we got going. I got a foot to stand on in court. It's going to still be a battle. I got the best case probably going since I'm here and taking care of the property and literally paying all the bills and have been here for a while. I pretty much have a pretty good case. And then not only that, but I'm going to play it like, oh, hey, I'll be homeless if you freaking kick me out of this place. You're going to kick me on the street, right? That kind of thing.
Right. And you've been taking and doing upkeep on the place all this time. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I got the best case. Absolutely. And so the only thing, like the attorney said, is if if somehow a later copy of the version or the will surfaces that somehow says something different, then that could be a problem, right? But I mean, I've been searching, and so I would love to find a more current version. Because
I don't think things.
Yeah, she was the executor in the new one, but I don't have.
I have heard her. She over the years, whenever you had to go off and do stuff, and she knocked on the door or whatever, she still loved you. You could tell she wasn't mad or anything. It was just like, hey, Reg, I need this or that, or there was never anything. So it's not like that you were intruding. Obviously, you lived there. I can't believe anyone would make I hope nobody makes it's obvious that it's your place, is what I'm getting at,
Yeah, she told them all. They all know.
Everyone should know that, is what I mean. Like the whole family should feel that vibe. You have the place. You've been doing live streams. Let me tell you, Reg, you don't do live streams from places that you're not familiar with.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, this has been my permanent address for like 30 years too, right?
Right.
Permanent mailing address. literally physically living here for the last 7, which is kind of a magic number supposedly, and then physically without leaving this place for the last over 2 years. And so, and then that was mostly to caretake my mom because she was getting, older and not as strong, and she loved having the security of me being around. I mean, she used to tell me all the time, and like even if I leave for like a day or something, she'd like lock the doors. Never did that before, right? But she just, how it is. I mean, as they get older, they like to have, and she said in her own words, that she wanted company too, right? I mean, remember when she said that, she kind of broke into tears, and it made me cry too, right? She's
Sure.
like, company, and it was like, oh man, how can I deny my mother company, right?
No, and you were a good man for staying with her all that time. And I know you wanted to get away and everything, and over the last few years, but you
virtually
didn't.
planning it right then, right?
Yeah, you didn't travel too crazy. You kept always in mind that you needed to go back to Alaska. I remember when you were down in Texas, it was like a countdown to when you had to go back to Alaska. And people were like, well, what the hell? He's supposed to be on vacation. It's like, no, he has to get back to his mother and take care. And he knows that he has a purpose too, but he wanted to get away,
Yeah,
I think people mistook that, Reg. They thought you were just trying to go be flashy down there. I was like, no, he's trying to get away, and he's trying to have a good time.
Jones too, right? That didn't
Well,
happen.
there was a purpose. There was a purpose.
Yeah, that was the purpose.
I know, but hey, Alex is hard to get a hold of.
Dude, I mean, remember I was in that contest, and the puppets were on the front or on one of their pages on Infowars, right? Fucking
I remember.
Amir and fucking Ray Tardo.
Amir, dude, and Ray Tardo.
Yeah, they made it.
I always thought you named Ray Tardo after me, but maybe I'm just dreaming.
Ray Tardo, yeah. I mean,
Ray Tardo, dude.
That's
it.
like a self-image for me too.
Yeah, me too. You hit the nail right on the head.
I stole the name from something that I came up with earlier years ago. There was when I did those slush cup footages and I was making up names for people. There was a guy that was that when he got in the water pond, he was like, oh, he was flopping around like he looked like a retard, right? And so that's why I made him Ray Tardo Montalban, right?
Montalban.
Yeah.
Hey, do you remember Fantasy Island, man? Reg, when I was a kid, Fantasy Island had just come on, and when I was a kid, that was the biggest shit when I was a kid, man.
Oh, hell
My grandma used, and I used to watch that live. Well, not live, but like whenever it came on Saturday night,
Yeah.
And I always remember, that plane.
Yeah, this is one of the few that I watched too, right? Was Fantasy Island. It was always pretty badass, right?
Yeah, I thought so.
Mr. Rourke could do anything.
It was like the holodeck. He could make anything come true, and he could show you anything. And if you paid enough money, apparently, you could see anything you needed to see, and it would help you. I don't know. I like it.
Yeah, somebody's got a comment. Says if a judge can go against what the will said, what good is a will? Whoever fights you for the house is just wasting money on the lawyer. I like to believe that too, right? I mean, yeah.
Unless there's vendettas, and I don't know why there would be.
Oh, well, my older brother, man, he lives in a world of his own creation, and he's the one who actually feels like he should be the personal rep and everything. He hasn't even been in the state for 25 years.
No, I'm saying, Reg, I'm sorry, I misspoke. A personal vendetta by the judge, because it doesn't matter what your brother says, brother. It doesn't matter at all. It's what the judge says.
Yeah.
It's what your mother wanted and what the judge says. That's all that matters.
It says right there in Alaska law that the handwritten will is perfectly valid because, I mean.
In Arkansas, I looked it up. Whenever you told me that this week, you told me, I did look it up in Arkansas. I said, well, because my mother has a beautiful home and all that. And so I looked it up and it said, whoever, it doesn't matter whether the will is written out on a napkin or by a lawyer. As long as it's verified signature, that's a document. That's a document. So you have a, hey guys. Hey, cheers, brother. I've been listening to your live streams. They're awesome, brother.
Me too. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Cheers.
So much information. I feel like I've gone back in time like 20 years and I'm researching again. It's great.
Yeah, well, it's crazy to me that, as I said at the beginning, I don't know if you caught it, like a couple of weeks ago when I was, when we were looking at the royal coronation,
Right.
I didn't know who that guy was, and he's the head Freemason in the whole of England. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And he's the cousin of both the Queen, and he's the cousin of the Queen's husband as well. The
Wow.
former Queen. So like double cousins and all that. And like, you would think now JC being a Mason in America, I wouldn't have assumed that he would know anything about Masons in the UK either,
Sure.
But he was saying, oh well, 20 years ago. The guy's 87 though. And every year he presents the prize at Wimbledon, whether it was to Steffi Graf or Andre Agassi
Boris
and all these
Becker.
other people.
Right.
Whoever the people were, But
Right.
it just, to me, not trying to rehash the whole thing, it or talk about it. I know you guys get on to let you back to talking about Alaska and your trip, but to me it shows how, like, I think I know stuff by now. I've learned a lot of things, but there's still so much stuff that's been standing in front of me, on the
Oh,
TV screen right there, and I
oh,
look but I don't see.
oh, so true. That's what Reg and we connect over that right there, what you're talking about, which is that I think I know so much, but I still have the humility and I understand that I have it written on me. I absolutely know nothing. Comparatively speaking to what you could know, I know nothing. So I keep that in mind whenever I go through this world, that anyone could teach me anything at any given time.
Absolutely.
And I
Always
see,
learning.
I see that humility in everybody on the screen right now, except Shadow.
Except what?
Yeah,
Except
obviously Shadow knows everything.
oh, Shadow, right? Okay, yeah.
I know he
Yeah.
hasn't piped up much here.
No, he doesn't need to, Reg. I mean, obviously he knows everything.
Oh shit.
Okay.
But yeah, well, what about a
Go-
little update for what conditions are going on over there for you, John? I mean, right now here in Alaska, we creeped down from $4 a gallon. I'm paying $3.79 right now. But groceries are the freaking thing that are just fucking killing, right? Even the
Yeah.
low budget freaking pound of hamburgers, $7, right? Eggs are back up to $3 a dozen, and that's for the cheapest ones, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's a fucking nightmare. And so
Yeah, you're right. Gasoline, petroleum over here did go above €2 significantly, but now it's maybe back down to closer to €1.5. But our fuel was always much higher than yours. Groceries, yeah, noticed it big time. Don't think we had as much inflation with regard to eggs, but with other staples like bread, milk, other dairy products, a lot of other things that you kind of need, essential stuff that I'm forgetting, but things that inflation would be normally calculated upon. A store brand milk was something like 75 cents. But in some places it went up to 150. So in some places it literally doubled. And the farmers were always squeezed anyway. Normally, supermarkets would get most of that money. But now it gives them a great excuse for the supermarkets to say, okay, we're going to have to do something about this then. We're going to have to insist that the farmers do this more cheaply. They were already doing it as cheaply as they could. And you know what's going to be next? They're going to change the laws where they'll say, well, look, it's okay to put some milk substitute in with the milk, whatever the substitute might be. You know what I mean? Could be depleted uranium.
Glyphosate.
Glyphosate, exactly. Yeah. Now, I just mentioned this real quick just to underscore the point. I was watching a girl's channel from Canada, and she visited a farm I think it must have been in Montreal, a city farm, an unusual thing. And she learned a lot of things. One of the things she learned was that American cows give 60 gallons a day, but Canadian cows 30. Why is this? Well, it's because it's illegal in Canada to give growth hormones and other kinds of chemicals injected into the cows, but it's not illegal in America, in US.
Yep.
So that's why you get more milk. Obviously, if you do that, get double the amount, it's less quality. But what else is in there? Like lots of hormones or whatever else. So
yeah.
Oh.
and I think you guys already know about the high fructose corn syrup, whereas the rest of the world might still use cane sugar or other kinds of sugar, not the high fructose corn syrup. So a lot of the food in America is packed with stuff that isn't as good to make it go further.
100% agreed. 100% agreed. And luckily for me, I have never liked milk, right? And I've never really drank it, but I
Not
remember
a big milk drinker. Not a big drinker.
I remember a post I saw on Instagram, like somebody was saying, "Do you really think you should be drinking something else, bodily fluids?" I'm like, God, you put it that way, you know,
So true.
I'm out.
And when you say bodily fluids, like, you know, there can be
No,
worse
it's
ones, you
true.
know?
Think about drinking. Think about drinking bovine milk. I mean, come on now.
It's a
How
bodily
could we
fluid.
expect? How could we expect to derive anything of any? Listen, obviously the calcium will build up your bones, but I personally believe that the bovine DNA that is being transferred is counterproductive. That's just my own thoughts. I mean, I have science to back it up, but obviously people would call me racist. I mean, if we brought up anything to do with science and technology, because it goes against everything they say. True science and technology is like the bell curve and stuff like that, for instance. It goes against, yeah, think about it.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is the stuff that was in the 70s and 80s that is being refuted. Now all science is being refuted. It's like, because we're rejecting science because the jab and these things, right? And oh my God, right? But everything has pointed towards this fall that we're watching, you know. And it's the fall of Western civilization and the Kalergi plan.
The orchestrated collapse that I'm constantly mentioning. We started out with a Reach report there that was talking about the Cloward and Piven strategy. And we got to actually the first time I've ever seen Miss Piven. And what a freaking nutcase looking. She looks like British royalty with the eyes looking in two directions, right? And so I don't know if you got a chance to catch that, John, or anything.
I must have missed the one with the eyes on either side of her head. Yeah.
Right, like a gecko.
Yeah.
Insane, but it's insane that we're listening to these geriatric freaks, right? I mean, we could bring up Feinstein, right? Feinstein.
Amazing.
Yeah. Biden, for sake's fuck. I mean, he's, where am I, right? And he's not even joking when he's up there talking about not knowing who the president is. And he said, I'm not joking, literally, right? And so, wow, what a state we're in. Now, what's the general feel of what's going on over there for you guys, John? I mean, is there tension, or is everybody chilling, or is anybody, you know, what's the feel?
Yeah, my attitude to it is that I actually dislike to see everything apparently back to normal. You know, I mean, there are still people who wear things on their faces, but also in supermarkets and other places, there are still perspex sheets. I was in a grocery store last week or whatever, and still I was trying to reach underneath the plastic and God, there you go, these perspex sheets, and I was about to say, look, why do you still have this here? Didn't you hear that like Biden or whoever like said it's all over now? It's officially over. Although they didn't do it to as much fanfare as when they said it started, but I kind of thought, nah, I'll leave it. And what annoys me is to still see the legacy of all this stuff, and even like that there will be in 100 years time movies and people will say, you see, that was real, just like people were saying back in 1918 it was real as well, and there's precedent for it. So anyway, the mood, to answer the question here, is I think it's summer, the weather's getting better, people are forgetting about it. They'll never admit that it was all overblown, at the very least, even if it existed that it was all overblown, they'll never admit that. But they're sort of softly going back to normal now until they want to do it again. But the precedent has been set, and I can't stand that, because I know that it's only just barely there under the surface. So things kind of look eerily normal in a way that I don't appreciate, but we have all the same stuff. It's not just Biden that did it. Like, we have the result of all the extra money that was printed, all the effect to people's lives, their jobs, and inflation. And they took all our money through that inflation, raised the prices. And of course, there's noises about the government saying, well, we'll rescue you from the inflation. Same stuff as you have over there. So I kind of, it's like another calm before the storm, of course, though. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of stuff in the news every week, loads of stuff in the news to keep us occupied. They'll think up different psyops and hoaxes, of course, mini ones to keep us entertained,
What about masks? Do you still see anybody wearing a mask?
As I say, yes. Sometimes, and what I still don't like is even say, You know how it never made sense, right? Well, here's one thing, right? So, like, I was always a bit of a germ freak, like, regardless whether they exist or not, like, you know? Like, for example, I always complained all the time, a bit like Jerry Seinfeld and what's the deal with airline food? I'd say, what's the deal with, public bathroom doors opening inwards? Why do you push to get in and you pull to get out? I want the doors the other way. I want, when I wash my hands, to be able to push the door at my elbow to get out, right? Instead of having to get my sleeve and do this sort of thing, right? And people would say I was crazy. I was a hypochondriac. I was like Howard Hughes, all this sort of stuff. And I'd say,
hang on to the paper towel and open the door and then drop
right.
it on it.
But where's the method?
That's exactly what I do.
Now, most of the people would say, just eat your hamburger. It's only clean germs. What are you talking about? And I'd say, but why would I bother washing my hands in the toilet anyway? You know?
Right.
And people thought I was crazy. Right. But now this very same people still have masks hanging from their rear view mirror in their car or from the indicator stalk. And I'm like, even if that would do anything, it's filthy. It's been hanging there for months. You know what I mean? You're reusing it over and over. You know?
Ugh.
Oh,
yeah, man. I've never worn
so
one.
true. So true.
Actually, the only time I wore one was when I was on the flight and I had to, right?
Yeah, I didn't even ever wear one.
I had to for that.
Hey, I live in Arkansas, guys. Arkansas. Okay, I didn't have to wear one.
Yeah, never had to wear one here. But once again, I do see, like every once in a while, like I went to the place.
No, I still see people wearing. You can. Now, listen, anyone's free to do it. I still see people in single cars driving around with a mask on.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I point at them and laugh, but you know.
So yeah, that brings us to the whole subject of what we're talking about here is the final looting, and they're getting ready to. I mean, just the fact that they're talking about a U.S. debt default is pretty much spooking the markets and stuff like that, and it's on the table to possibly happen within by June 1st, right? If they don't.
Oh, please raise the debt ceiling. Oh, please, politicians.
I mean, we've been hearing about this so much that it just pretty much flies under the radar now, right? It's
Reg and I have been, and hey, John was on with us a few years back too. We were talking about these debt ceilings and Obama raising the debt ceilings. Yeah.
What's another trillion when you've spent so much already anyway, you know?
Right. If you can just print out $3-5 billion, just a trillion. Now, remember, Trump, he brought out a couple of things. He brought out fast-tracked vaccinations, and he brought out $5 trillion that he was going to give everybody, and then everybody got like $1,000, but I never received a penny. Yeah. Remember? And that was just a bust out. That was the start of the bust out.
Yeah. And so what I keep saying is the final looting going on. It's in its final phases now, and once they run out of money to steal, then they collapse it all, right? And then they say, "Hey, it wasn't our fault," you know. And
we couldn't possibly have seen it coming, like Janet Yellen keeps saying.
Janet Yellen.
As far as your guys' currency over there, too, John, is that holding up pretty good still, or?
I haven't looked at the exchange rate. Maybe I tell you what, give me 1 second. I'll look up what the exchange rate is between the US dollar and maybe I'll find out the British pound now in a second as well. Awesome. But look, in general, the two currencies or all currencies are falling like as if, say, several people jumped out of a plane at the same time. They're all more or less falling at the same time, you know.
Right.
$1 is 92 cents euro. So the euro is a little bit stronger than the dollar. But there was a time there a few months back when a dollar could buy more than €1, which was an odd thing, you know.
Yeah.
But
it always had I mean, the pound has always been like a double.
No, it's a time and a half.
Time and a half more than the dollar.
Yeah, about time and a half.
Euro.
But it's a little less now. You know, it's a little less now.
What's the British pound? The British pound is 80 pence. So. You could buy only 80 pence with a dollar, but still, I mean, it's been worse, I suppose, you know. I remember back in the 80s, actually, a dollar was worth only something like 50 English pence.
That's true. Remember, at that time in the 80s that you're speaking of, John, the Japanese yen was strong. So strong, and that's why that we saw a dip in our currencies in the Western civilizations.
Right.
The reason now that we're seeing them is because of a devaluation that is fake, that is a lie. Don't you see that they're devaluing our money on purpose You can feel it at your supermarket. You can feel it at the petrol station. You can feel it. So it's a lie. It's a, we know it's contrived.
Yeah. Well, look, I might have mentioned it before, but I'll just give you another piece of information. I was talking to somebody recently. I think it might have been Bianca, the zombies. Bianca Fights the Zombies, about the Lethal Weapons movies. And Lethal Weapon 2, the one with the evil South Africans who came over in their evil German
Diplomatic
BMW.
immunity.
Diplomatic immunity. Well, I'm a standing and ballistic. Yeah, right. These guys, right? And they're Krugerrands, right? So Krugerrands are gold coins, and they're named after one of the founding fathers of South Africa, Paul Kruger. Anyway, they were smuggling these gold coins, but at that time, or prior to that, like maybe around 86, 87, you could buy only a regular rand, so not a gold coin, but like, if their rand is like, say, the equivalent of $1. So with 1 rand, you could buy $2 American. But now with $1 American, you can buy 15 rand. That's roughly, yeah. So their currency has been devalued by 30 times, roughly since the 30s. It's lost that much value, 30 times of its value. And that pretty much happened like from the point of 1990 to 1994, the transition period, whereby Nelson Mandela took over the presidency, and on and on and on. And the only reason I think they still have an economy is because of the momentum. But there is US investment in South Africa as well. So
listen, there's always going to be these white people that can make money off of it. And not only just white people. Let's really think about what's going on here. The people who made up the money system control it all over the earth. They control it all over the earth, guys. And so we have to recall that. And they want to spread their World Economic Forum to all 4 corners of this place. And they're going to do it. And they're just teeter-tottering on digital and real currency, because people still believe in something you can hold and something you can feel. And, right? Even though it might be paper. Okay. And the only confidence it's a confidence trick, but it's a confidence trick that you will sell me the cigarettes if I need them, and I'm going to hand you this paper and you're going to give it to me. Listen, that's still something. Whenever it's digital, all bets are off.
Absolutely. I know you believe it, and I do too. Things that you can touch and hold in your hand, and you don't need power to generate it. Even if the power goes out in a city, the ATMs don't work, and people start panicking, and the cash registers don't work. And the thing is, even if you have cash, they sort of say, I can't actually do any sales right now because I need to be able to, put it into the cash register. Whereas I remember working in a shop before, and when the power went out, you got out a ledger and you wrote down who gave you what. I worked in a video library, like Blockbuster, right?
Yes.
And you wrote down what their account number was, and then you said, when the computers come back on, I'll write it all in,
Listen, listen, guys, I want to let you know something. I'm in the metal business, and all of my life, all we have is a ledger. We have to do it on faith and on your word and on your PO number. And we write those things down and we share them amongst each other, and we keep track of it that way. It's old school. So whenever I look out at how they're doing banking and money systems now, it just makes me know it's going to fail. It has no choice but to fail.
Now, the other thing I was going to say, unfortunately, I'll just say very quickly, unfortunately, you and I and Reg and everybody else here, I think, believes in cash and coins and paper notes, even if it's only paper. But unfortunately, it looks to me like everybody below the age of 25 has always paid by tapping with their phone. So,
yeah. So it'll be no big deal to them. I mean, it's good. They'll switch over seamlessly. And Slowboy was making a comment. She said, that's why I don't really believe they'll ever get a global currency. Currency is based on faith, and different regions will never have one faith. And they're trying for a one world religion too, as we know. But of course, it's going to be farther down the line after they've already pretty much starved and everybody out. Right. So that's what's going to, we all know this 6-month crisis period that we're going to be facing is going to be just that. And it'll hit different countries in different ways, I'm sure. But the currency will be food, I guarantee you, for a while, right? And then, but other states are developing things like, I don't know if any of you guys have heard about this, but they're making, because gold can be hammered out so thin it's transparent, right? Because it's a got properties like that. And so they're making literally gold coated paper currency in some states that literally has intrinsic value to it because it has gold, right, on it, as X amount of worth of gold, whatever the bill says is worth, right? And so there you go. That right there is one possible.
That's a good, I had never thought of that, but that's a very good way to do it.
That's why I wanted you guys' opinion on. I mean, I don't know what states are doing it, but I just read an article on it and I heard about that. I thought that's genius.
That's very genius. I had never thought of that.
What do you think?
Yeah. Well, I think one of them at least is called the gold back, as in it's backed by gold. But you know, like you're sort of saying, maybe it's you know, there's gold in the note itself, on the back of the note or whatever, you know. Now,
if the thread count itself is 1 every 9th thread is a gold thread, then you or 1 every 20th, or 1 every 3rd, or 1 every, or 1 for 1, a gold note. Okay, so then you could start to see the value in something like this. I think I might ponder on this.
Yeah, but I thought it was pretty interesting, and maybe this is why they're stealing up all the gold in the world too, right? Because we've noticed that happening, and they want to get a hold of all of that. And okay, now I had one thing that I came up with like a long time ago, one of my videos, and I want to get your guys' take on this too. If you recall, the Illuminati card game has a card called Gold Making Machine, right? Yes. And then I read about in one of the obscure books I was reading that there was a report that the Russian scientists was thinking a different way because they're not money driven, right? Because that's what happens with all our stupid scientists here, and this is why they're such retards. But they literally said they developed a device that could transmute any element on the periodic table to any other element on the periodic table. So,
alchemy.
Right. In other words, they could turn anything into gold, and they have been doing that. And they've been doing it for a number of years since they developed this device. I mean, sounds like a freaking total conspiracy theory, right? Do you guys think this could possibly be true? And if so, you know, then Russia is going to have a shitload of gold to come up with a gold-based currency, kind of like how China's buying up all the gold so they can try to do the same thing. So what's your thoughts on the gold-making machine? Real, or is it a hoax?
Hoax.
Anybody? Hoax?
Hoax.
Okay. Anybody else?
Well, I think Joey, Joey, you're going to say what you think?
This guy on YouTube, he can make gold and he can make silver.
Wow. From anything?
He's got to use gold or silver and this machine where he puts electricity into it, or battery power.
For thousands of years, people have been trying to turn Lenin into gold, and they cannot do so. And they've always been proven to be fake. Now, I know you can make scientific things up and prove this and prove that, and I've even done it. And I know you can do things that people think are scientific, but I learned them in 9th grade in chemistry class. So listen, it's not, you cannot turn something of no value into something of value. Only your soul. By saying, I accept Jesus Christ as my personal savior and I'm saved, and now my soul is not going to be burning in hell. It is going to go to a better place.
Nice. Good. I kind of thought it could be real because, for one, it's in the Illuminati card game, right? And so...
Okay.
Yeah, but all that's a hoax and a psyop. Remember.
Well,
but I still,
can I say that I
still think it's true. Go ahead, John.
Well, I have a gut feeling that it'll be one of those things that always has a high cost to it, so that if you do need electricity, that the cost would be prohibitive. Like, supposing if you got an ounce of gold, it might cost you $2,000 worth of electricity.
I get it.
Oh, and I've always said that CERN can create antimatter, which is the most precious thing in this world. It would be worth trillions and trillions of dollars per gram, right? Sure. But how much does it cost? It costs the world everything for the sun to fire up. It's not cost prohibitive at all. So if there is such anything, then it wouldn't even be, you see what I mean? It's like for people to say chance or something, or to do sprinkles on something and make gold out of cloth. I want to see it. I hope that's true.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
all right.
You could imagine that the discovery of infinite energy would be simultaneously the discovery of the ability to create any material.
Yeah, right.
Right.
And like the ancient cultures that knew a lot more than we do now, because everything's profit driven. But I do have a few posts on my Instagram. Kind of would like to get you guys' take on your opinion here. We take a quick peek at the first one. Now this one, another smart jogger, but he's listening to another guy who's talking about sound, using sound to cure you. Lots of things I talk about, like to talk about.
Anthony Holland, who in a TED talk in 2011 shows how he cures cancer with sound frequencies. Sound continues to amaze us. Sound can levitate. By now, you would have seen this many times. Just the very quick idea that sound actually does levitate things. But this is not how the ancients used to levitate the very big, heavy objects. This is a very different technique used here. This is just pressure waves that can levitate things, very light objects. But it does give you the ability to imagine that sound actually levitates. John Keeley levitated stuff and drilled sound holes with sound in 1888 already. Peter Davy boiled water with sound since 1940. Sound creates what's known as a star in a jar called sonoluminescence. When you take a sphere of water and you expose it to certain frequencies, it gives off a very, very bright light at the center of the water, called a star in a jar, which is just absolutely not quite what it is. And sound creates hurricanes. There are two guys in 2003 that lodged a patent to create hurricanes out of sound. Simply Anthony Holland, who in a TED talk.
Reg, I have to say, it's brilliant, right? I loved the way the smart jogger sort of really explained it to us in a way that we could understand, and he could have translated the highfalutin scientific language and translated it.
I like, their little interpreters on the side doing the little.
He added so much to that.
That was really good.
Yeah, no, but I do believe in the healing properties of sound. Matter of fact,
Obviously, I do.
One of the things that I saw is that they say that the frequency of the bee's wings is actually a healing frequency, that if you sit near, it will cure you of whatever ails you. And so we all know Matt Kissed My Ass Tyrants, right, in the group. He would be here today, but he called into work because there was a fire. And so I texted him to because I wanted him to share a story with us. Last time we were on a stream, sadly I didn't read the comments, but they were talking about him getting some bee stings from his hive because he's a beekeeper, right? And he told me, I texted him, and he said, okay, now today all my joint pain is gone from my body, right? After getting those bee stings. He considered it like a miracle. And I'm like, man, that bee venom was exactly what you needed, right? To make you feel better. It makes me want a bee sting, right? So I wanted him to come on and talk about that, but he couldn't make it, so I thought I'd mention it. And I asked him if he would make a recording of the bee's wings for me, and so I can start to listen to it myself and play it when I go to sleep. And so what do you think about that? Him getting cured?
Oh, I believe it. I agree. I mean, you know me, the frequency ranges, that's what it's all about.
What do you think, John?
Yeah.
Well, I've recorded a few bees. I don't, and featured one or two in videos maybe a year or two ago. And I find it relaxing to listen to them in the garden, and especially not to get freaked out, to practice not being freaked out. If they're just buzzing by you or out of the flower, they're not concerned with you. They're never going to sting you unless you actually start messing with them, attacking them.
Yep.
You know, it's only wasps that get angry towards the end of the season. Bees only apparently get one chance to sting you. Otherwise, with human flesh, the barb will stick there. So they're lovely creatures. They're necessary, as we know. And I could believe that there is something special about their flight, that they shouldn't be able to fly, they say, but they do fly. So it's more than just beating the air, that it is something to do with the vibrations that keeps them hovering in some way. Yeah. So, and as far as
anti-gravity machines.
Yeah. And as far as that video goes, I've seen something else that was older in black and white that did talk about the healing properties of being able to maybe kill cancer cells by audio frequencies with a certain frequency. And I know it sounds a bit wishy-washy, but it could actually target. I mean, everything has a resonant frequency, so it could actually target cancer cells and then pass through healthy cells. So there's something to the principle there, anyway.
I agree.
Yeah, I totally agree too. Remember that obscure set of books that I like to talk about, the Ringing Cedars of Russia.
Oh yeah.
Now, the character Anastasia, she talks about how the bee is actually like the most pure and holy creature that's on the face of the earth, right? Because the hive mind scenario of them, and as a matter of fact, how they pollinate everything, and how if it wasn't for bees, we'd all be extinct too, right? And they say once the bees go, everything follows. And so it makes a lot of sense to me too that they're definitely of a higher purpose.
Order.
Yeah. A higher order. There you go. Thank you.
Yes.
So
a truly higher order. Yeah.
I found it very easy to believe that he was cured by the bee sting, for crying out loud. So that's awesome. Okay. I got another couple things on the Instagram posts. This one coming up. We'll see what it is.
That smart jogger is great.
Yes, the smart jogger. Dude, these smart. Yeah, Reg, you're the one that turned me on to smart joggers. I didn't know, but now I do.
Smart joggers, man. They're everywhere on the internet. But
wow.
But the way this particular guy, right? He just splits the screen down and he just translates everything perfectly.
Yeah. No, it's half him and half the whatever it is, it's like,
yeah,
because he's a Kang. He's a Kang. Remember that. And he would know.
He's doing the meme as well. He's doing this like
he's pointing and looking and making faces and shit. I love that shit.
Did you guys know that the villain in the new Quantum Mania Ant-Man movie is a black guy named Kang?
Oh, really?
Dude, I laughed so fucking hard when I literally had to pause the movie. I was missing shit because I was just couldn't fucking stop.
His name was Kang.
Kang.
Okay.
Kang. And to top it off, get this, and this is why I always watch to the end through the credits, right? Is that they do a bit, how they always do a bit after, and they showed Kang and a couple other freaking jogger pharaoh type fuckers come together, right? And they say, "Oh, we all must be concerned. They will take down everything we've created." So they created a fucking universe now. And then it shows you zoom out to a bunch of a room of all these fucking Kang-looking motherfuckers. They're all exactly identical, and they're all hopping around like a bunch of fucking monkeys. It's
Reg, I've always thought that the 1968 movie Planet of the Apes was the most realistic movie that I've ever seen in my life.
I know, right? We went to all of those as kids, man.
Shadow's got a telex coming in there, and Shadow's got a message coming through on the telex machine there. Did you hear it?
Oh, fuck, is that Shadow?
Oh, Lord.
Shadow, are you ever
okay, he's speaking in binary. Oh.
God damn it.
We don't understand binary. Sorry.
All right, let's check out this next one and see if we can hammer through it here real quick. I'm sure I've got multiple posts to go.
Smart jogger.
A constitutional republic, not a democracy. The ideal of a democracy is universal equality. The ideal of a constitutional republic is individual liberty. A democracy always degenerates into dictatorship, which promises government-guaranteed equality and security, but it delivers nothing but poverty and serfdom for the people it robs and rules. America was founded as a constitutional republic to safeguard the liberties of the people against the tyranny of democracy or of one-man dictatorship. In this century, great strides have been made toward the goal of subverting our republic into a democracy. The foremost tactic of the subverters is subversion of language. By calling America a democracy until people thoughtlessly accept and use the term, the totalitarians have obscured the real meaning of our principles of government.
I thought I'd muted my mic. So you can hear me laughing. I mean, these smart joggers, the way they point and everything, and then kind of go into all these faces.
No, it's as though they think that they know the information, but they can't enunciate the words, or and only the white man can only the white man can speak it like that or whatever, you know, but it's true. It's so true. And it's like, dude, Jogger, come on, man. Just because somebody sounds convincing, you know, come on.
These white men do be smart sometimes. They do be.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah, they do be.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, they do be.
We got Grace 4 in the chat. Farm Girl, welcome. Woohoo. Good to see you. Welcome here. We're still rolling here, talking about some different things that I have saved on my Instagram, which is kind of a potpourri of subjects. What's that?
I heard they're remaking White Men Can't Jump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're going to cuck the white man.
It was on TV the other day. I watched it, right? It's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. No, that movie was, hey, that was when we used to make fun of shit, you know, and it didn't matter. But it was the start of, you know, the decay. Not just the start. They already had Al Bundy on the couch. They already had, yeah, you know, they already had all these things. And then White Men Can't Jump. And then they started with a Chris Rock comedy of you know, white men have little dicks and all this. And it just started. And until you're seeing what you're seeing currently.
Well, you've mentioned before, I mean, a lot of people think that if we could only go back to the days of Al Bundy when you could drink real beer, or beer wasn't transsexual and all this sort of stuff. But I mean, it was the exact same thing, and you've mentioned it many times, and you're right. No, Al Bundy, like Homer Simpson, and like what's the guy Arnie? What's the guy Arnie Buckle, or you know, Leave It to Be, not Leave It to Beaver. You know, the guy in black and white who, or maybe it got to color, where he was the, you know, the racist head of the household guy.
Archie Bunker. Archie Bunker.
Yeah. So all of that stuff was just points on the trajectory. They weren't the good old days. They were still laughing and destroying the idea of the husband of the house, especially if he was like white or European.
Making a comedy out of a white man that had built the country up and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
the Jeffersons too. That was a racist freaking show too. So.
Well, you know, that was just showing that the black people were on the rise, just like the Huxtables and Bill Cosby, who's been proven to be a rapist. You know, and they built these people. They built these people up out of nothing. They're straw men that we can burn later. You know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sorry, Shadow. I had to mute your mic there. There was too much back noise there going on. I noticed you've been doing it mostly yourself, but it was getting quite loud. I'll pull it off right now, and so give you back control of it. If it's too loud there, then yeah, go ahead and mute it. But when you're ready to come in and give us a zinger, which we've been waiting for, feel free to pop in.
Get off my porch, old man.
So who do you predict is going to be in the new remake of White Man Can't Jump? Question for everybody.
Well, it'll have to be a black man playing Woody Harrelson. It'll be Jamie Foxx will play Woody Harrelson in whiteface. Yeah.
Well,
there won't be any famous people in the movie probably at all.
All right, my prediction is they're bringing back both Woody and freaking Wesley, and they're going to be playing as old guys.
Oh,
they're probably kind of.
No, that would cost too much money. This is going to be a low rent.
Right on. Let's see how
Adam Sandler.
What's that?
Maybe Adam Sandler.
Oh well.
Hey,
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I only said that so to see.
Well, he plays basketball well, doesn't he?
Yes.
Here we go. See if we got a smart jogger coming. Oh, smart white guy.
This is an underground fridge that runs without electricity. It's called a ground fridge, and it's a naturally cooled cellar that's a modern take on the traditional root cellar. It can hold 12 refrigerators worth of fruits, vegetables, wine, and much more with its 3,000 litres of storage capacity. The ground fridge is...
You know how I always have kind of a potpourri of stuff going on here. I thought this was interesting too, because I might want to get one of these, right? A ground fridge. What do you think, guys?
It's very interesting.
Simply dug into the ground and covered with the soil that's been dug up, giving it a natural insulating power that means the temperature inside remains steady and cool throughout the entire year. Installing it doesn't require any permits like a normal cellar would, and ventilation is done by a fan with a timer that gains fresh, cool air during the night. It's big enough for 2 people to comfortably stand in, and you can walk in and out of it upright. It's perfect for those who are looking to live a bit more off-grid.
I like it. And see, this kind of goes on the whole thing I've been talking about with the geothermal greenhouse too, right? And something that I want to hopefully build a prototype of here in my yard eventually when that time comes. But yeah, I thought this was interesting because it could probably be something, it could be used for maybe something similar. It's
Very interesting.
Smart white guy. Here we go.
Yeah. Annoying voice.
If you have a job, I hope you have a business. You want to make sure you turn that W-2 into your 1099. In other words, you want to make sure that you have a corporation. There's a lot of benefits that comes with a corporation. Tax write-off. That's right, tax write-off. You want to write your gas off. You want to write your clothes off. You want to write your expenses off. You want to write your life insurance off. Did you guys hear me? You want to write your life insurance off?
Sounds like
two smart joggers on this one. Huh?
Not the way the guy on the right is just doing the finger stuff. It's obviously it's a template for what should we call it, TikTok, obviously, for somebody to split the screen and point at the other guy to kind of go, yeah, listen to this guy.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Now we have a comment here from Grace 4 talking with the people in the chat, something that she told me about a couple of days ago. I'd like to make a quick prayer for. They said they planted 200 blueberry bushes, which was awesome. And they got 4 calves, but they're going through some trouble because her brother-in-law committed suicide. And he hung himself. And so maybe we'll say a quick prayer for them. Father, we come before you with all love, honor, and respect. And we ask that you just send your angels of healing and of patience to Revelation or to Grace Forest Farm Girls family, and just be with them and help them to get through this trying time. And we expect it done because we ask in Jesus' name and we thank you. So,
amen.
Yeah, suicide, man. Right? I told you about my trouble. Those thoughts were creeping in too on me, and I went down to the creek and out in nature, getting in that cold water. All that saved me from the depression. And so,
good man,
I know
Reg.
what that's like, right? I was thinking about it's right, and it's a sad situation. And the people who do it make up their own mind. There's, right? They decide they're going to do it, and the ones that are successful were the ones who aren't that dumb, right? Because if you're stupid, you usually don't pull it off. But ones that do pull it off are usually serious too, not looking for attention.
Yes.
And so I find it a very confusing thing to me, definitely. And so, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I when it comes to suicide, I take that extraordinarily seriously.
Absolutely. The thing that has always been in my mind, and this is why I never even could contemplate it even at all, is that if you do take your own life, you end up losing all your power, all your spiritual power that you need on the other side, right? And so you immediately are wiped back to square one. You have nothing, right?
Thus the saying, Reg, sorry to interrupt, but that and I've heard this in more than just the movie Beetlejuice. You can read these things, and they say that people who commit suicide on this side of the world, of the life, become servants in the next life.
Yeah, I remember that detail. And I look at it as like, okay, if you make it through this life until your time, like my dear mother did, you will be able to bring all of your immortal power with you to the other plane. You do not leave even a single shred of it here. And that's what people call ghosts and whatnot, right? But if you're lucky, you can make it out that way. And that's how you retain your full power, is to just be happy when you die, no matter what the circumstances are. If you're actually happy, then you stand a good chance of doing that and ascending, so to speak, rather than being shoved back in the reincarnation mash, as I like to put it. But this is my theory. And so
I can see that, because I've been around so much death, and what do we always do? Most of us, if we have a chance, if it's with elders that are people who are dying in their beds, sometimes it's a lucky chance. All right, then what do? You preach to them, Jesus Christ. You give them hope. This is what they were raised on. This is what that we all know. Okay, and it gives them that happy feeling when they die, and they feel like that they're going on further. All right, and so the positive vibes are what we want. Now, conversely, look at how many deaths are just so tragic and so abrupt, and I think that does diminish the power. Just in a man, since we're speaking on it, I thought I'd say it.
Yeah, back when I did the paranormal thing in my paranormal documentary, of course, I mentioned, well, I was studying that plane crash that happened there in Annette Island, where we went and investigated, right, the haunted hangar, and didn't know anything about the backstory until we published that episode. Then I got a bunch of emails that explained it to me about how they took the bodies of the people who died on the plane crash and just dumped them into a mass grave right beside there, unceremoniously, right, that kind of thing, because the bodies weren't claimed. This was back like in the 50s, right? And so that made a lot of sense to me, right? This is why there's still some people, I mean, their plane crash, cut off, feel they fit the profile for
residual energy,
right? Residual energy, because they feel like they've been gypped, kind of thing, right? But the
right,
question
right.
that I put forth is like, okay, if any of us had any type of psychic ability dormant within us, wouldn't we get a bad feeling before boarding a plane that's destined to crash, right?
For sure.
Yeah, and so that was the question I put out, or is some of us just born to be victims? Is the way I have to kind of look at it, right? Because there's people who die in these kind of things all the time. Were they just literally born to become that victim, that statistic? Is that their lot in life? I mean, what do you guys think?
Reg, yes, I've often wondered. Some people get hit by a car in a Burger King parking lot.
Yeah.
Is that there? Yeah, it was that. You see what I mean?
All along?
That's such a question, it's such a philosophical, I don't know.
Right. It's a real stumper, isn't it? What do you think, John?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, well, I suppose it would be unkind to think that some people are just born to,
right,
fulfill the kind of role, like as in, well, the worst kind of thing is you're born just so you can die in these kind of either gruesome or unpleasant ways.
Like a murder victim, so to speak, right?
Like a what?
Like a murder victim, so to speak.
Oh, yeah.
Just born to get shot in the back of the head by some jogger, right? I don't know.
Well, yeah, but then I was thinking that would be unkind to think that. But then again, I mean, I know that I already do think that most people are NPCs, but it's by choice, sort of, in a way, like that they refuse, like I quoted in Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, and Bill Cooper used to always say this, they refuse to use their own minds, so they're no better than beasts of burden, beasts in the field. An animal that refuses to think is a stake on the table by choice and consent. Most people, I think, why I dislike them so much is because they do have the ability to live autonomous lives, not by a template, not just by rote. Just the standard thing, like you get born, you go to school, you have a humdrum job, you photocopy the pages, you type the thing into the computer. Maybe you get married and you have kids, and then you cross the road one day on your job to your boring office and you get killed, or you're driving in on any monotonous commuter day. It would be a relief to be killed. Sometimes you think, well, I would often think, I'll say this, I know that we're just talking about somebody having the suicide thing there, but anybody who's been stuck in traffic for 3 hours each way, and it's either so hot that the air conditioning isn't cooling you down, or it's raining and you can't see out the windows and the wipers are going like this, and it's just miserable and you're tired and it's dark and cold and freezing. So I suppose bringing it around a bit more there might be a pleasant relief than to get knocked down before you have to go in and do. I'd like to be knocked down before going into work. At least to get a day off then.
If a truck hits me, at least I'll get a day off.
Right, dude. Hey guys, listen. And another thing, I think a lot of younger people, and perhaps some older, but I don't know this. But my theory, since listening to people and having known people who have killed themselves in my lifetime, I think a lot of people, they'll admit to you that these things are going to happen prior to them happening. I think that if you'll listen, they'll tell you that they're at the end of their thing, and so we choose not to listen. And maybe I don't know why, but people do, they lump all the gun deaths here in America. There's 40,000 gun deaths a year. But did you know that about almost half of those are suicides,
Right. Right. Yeah. I did know that.
Yes. And so they lump them in because it's a gun death, but that's so not a right thing to do.
Exactly.
That's so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The girl, and you noticed that her runners or trainers or her plastic boot shoes, whether they were Nikes or Pumas, or whether they were different. That girl who identified as a boy or whatever.
Right.
There was definitely an element of suicide by cop with that.
I would have. Yes, you see, I agree, and see, and obviously somebody got murdered up there. But I'm just saying it was a hoax in as much as it was a contrived event. But that they was to drum up something, and they had these actors who wanted to die, and the reason why is because they had tried to take their genitals off and perhaps make a penis out of it or make a vagina out of it. And it started to stink. No, it started to stink, and it started to and they realized their mistake and that they were sterilized and there's no going back. And so they would just rather do suicide by cop. And they got involved in some crisis actor shit and went further with it with the FBI and the CIA and made a psyop for the people.
Yeah, that's
Come on now, guys. Come on. You guys, I've researched this shit all my life, man.
Yeah, sounds pretty legit.
Mm.
So, I don't think it's like I said earlier, how many people in the room want to kill somebody else, right? None of us.
No one.
Right?
No one.
And so I don't know anybody like that.
No one wants to kill any.
Right.
Well, hey, listen. There might be some psychopaths.
I know, but
There's some psychopaths. There's some psychopaths that want to kill people. But listen, mostly people just want to be left alone to their own devices. And when they feel any intrusion, they become homicidal or suicidal or any number of things. Okay?
Yeah.
Shout out O.J. Simpson.
What's that?
O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, OJ is doing podcasts again. He's appearing on podcasts. Yeah.
Is that right?
Wow. No, see, my older sister now, everybody thinks that she may have committed suicide too, but I tend to believe that she was just on her body collapsed from so much. She was doing a lot of drugs and drinking a lot and stuff, and after you get so toxic, right, too many toxins in, the body will shut down. And so that was my thing, but other people think that she committed suicide, and then others think that she might have been killed, right? And so that was never really investigated. And so that's kind of the closest I've come to that, other than one of my cousins, his sister's husband or something like that, shot himself at their property out there in Wrangell. And I mean, he did it right inside the house, so they had to clean up the entire freaking brain mess and stuff like that, right? And so,
wow.
The only reason why I know about it is because my cousin had to clean it up, and he told me about it, right?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Right, and he said, man, he had to go in and clean up his brain matter and shit. It was pretty fucked up.
Oh man.
And,
that reminds me, Reg, not to butt in on you, but it does remind me. This guy that I knew, he told a story at it. Listen to this. I was only like 22, and my wife and I were just married, newlyweds kind of people, and we were at a Christmas party for this place I worked at, and this guy he worked for one of the big dealerships, and somebody killed themselves in a Ford Ranger, blew their head off with a shotgun, and apparently it was 2 inches deep in the floorboards of brain matter, and this poor guy had to clean it out. He told this story at a fucking Christmas party. I was laughing. No, out of the ironic story matter, I was laughing so hard. My wife was elbowing me into the table and kicking me. It was the greatest shit, dude.
Fuck. I mean, yeah.
But 2 inches deep.
Outside, if you're gonna blast your fucking brains off, you can step outside.
Dude, apparently whenever your head goes off, like everything inside your body goes out of it.
Right. It's gonna shit, piss everything, right? And so it's gonna be a pretty fucked up scenario. And so but for me too, like it's something that you can't even think about, even though, I mean, I've said this, I'm sure you guys have probably heard me say this before, is that I cannot wait to shrug the mortal coil and become the infinite being, right? I look forward to that. I pray for the day that I get to shrug.
Yeah, but we want nature to do it.
Right. I have to wait until my time, or whatever happens. There's no way.
I think your mother showed us the way. I think your mother showed us the way.
Absolutely. So let's see if we have another smart jogger.
Okay.
His phone keeps overheating.
I'll stick around for one more smart jogger.
One more smart jogger. You guys, you never know, man. They might have what you need. So let's see what we got next. If it's not a smart jogger, we'll skip to the next one. How's that?
Smart jogger.
Smart jogger.
A system which comes into harmony.
Okay, not a smart jogger. This lady talks about the freaking
I'll have to try to understand it on
Reaching
my
a higher
own.
consciousness. Yeah, this is it's not too bad of one. It's one of those weird ones that I don't know why I save them, but this lady talks about how you can reach a higher level of consciousness. Here we go.
Code
Joggers.
section and write this.
Okay, this is two smart joggers now. So this one is just about an audit hack. It's not really a big deal. We're gonna skip this one too. Okay.
What would actually happen to your body if you really gave up sugar? I mean,
Okay, this is just one about the guy taking control of your body by giving up sugar for 2 weeks, and sure as shit, everything changes.
Another one of those with the
This may be one of the most sacred spots in this world, and the reason for this is absolutely astonishing.
Okay, this one's a trippy one. What do you guys think? Should we go on with this one? It's a natural healing.
We'll go with this. This is another template where he's pointing behind his back and he's going, "This is another amazing one. Get a load of this one, guys."
This one, I mean, yeah, let's check it out.
Now, this is Lake Kaluk, or Spotted Lake in BC, Canada, and the indigenous people have called this a sacred healing spot for a very long time. What's mind-blowing about this lake is that each pool has a different mineralistic and chemical compound to it. And depending what disease or ailment the body would have, the wisest elders of the indigenous people would recommend sitting in a certain pool, which would in turn cure the body. What's also astonishing about this place is there is no inflow or outflow of this lake, which is extremely unique and stuns modern scientists to this day. Now, I am a firm believer that nature holds the cure to all diseases, and the beauty and intelligence of this natural world never ceases to amaze me. Peace and love.
Yeah, right.
Okay, he's trying to say like this is a natural thing, and I'm going to say it's ancient tech that was created by the ancient cultures that knew way more than we do, right? And I think it's actually ancient tech, and this place was actually created. What do you guys think?
I had never heard of it.
Right? Neither I. I mean, that's the first time I ever heard of it too. Spotted Lake. And so, but yeah, healing properties. Nature will cure you. What do you think, John?
When he was saying the indigenous people in British Columbia, I was thinking like Michael J. Fox, is it? Like it's deep like this, you know, right? But like, I mean, the way he's pointed, right? These people are always overly enthusiastic. Right? Guys, check this out. It's so amazing. I think it's extremely unique. And you know the way the thing is, something is either unique or it isn't. Like, but he goes, it's extremely massively unique. Like, guys, you got to check it out. It's the most amazing thing ever. Like, there might be something to it. But I mean, basically, these guys just go to an encyclopedia. I kind of go, that sounds amazing. And now I'll just do the template where I point behind my shoulder. I go, guys, it's the most fucking amazing thing ever. Right? You got to check this out. Like, I believe it's aliens or not aliens. It's just amazing. That's
how you get views.
And then peace out. You know?
That's how you get dumbasses like me to save the video and share it, right?
Yeah. Like he doesn't care really. He probably doesn't even understand anything he's saying. But
what do you think? Do you think this is legit?
These kind of dry lakes, though, sometimes, you know, if you're flying over somewhere, you come in and you're looking at the agricultural fields, you see which parts are irrigated and which parts aren't, and you can see sometimes they have these, I don't know what they are, but I guess it's making salt or whatever, you know. And in a place like that, there's a lot of yellow there. I bet you a chemist could say what's left there, you know, whether it's sulfur or something else, you know. And don't they have oil fields there up in Manitoba or British Columbia or somewhere around there? So something to do with that, maybe, you know.
Shit. Yeah. You can see it. It does look pretty trippy. Yeah. And so Spotted Lake. There we go. Here we go. Our jogger. Oh, this is part one to the skit. Remember where he dresses up as a straw man? This is Amir Law. Amir. But he's doing it. This is the first part to that skit that he did of the straw man.
You got me jammed up, man.
In court.
I gotta go to the slammer, B. Hey, turn on the air. It's hot back here, man.
It says, go ahead here. You volunteered to pay your debt with your body in a warehouse, aka jail, right? And this guy's talking about how, you know, the legal system is a trap. They're just using your straw man to entrap you, and you voluntarily go into it. And so I thought it was pretty funny. I mean, the guy actually dresses up as a straw man, you know?
Yeah. There's something to it, Reg. I agree there's something to all that legal stuff. But I mean, you know, the terrible thing is about this, Reg, he's perpetuating stereotypes. Oh, no.
Yeah, that's what we were saying last time. I mean, like, this guy cannot speak in any other accent than the one he's, you know,
just the fact that, like, he's a black man and he's putting himself in jail, right? That's terrible. They're terrible to perpetuating these stereotypes, right? Whereas we know all black people are really Dr. Huxtables. That's what we need to be saying.
True. Yeah, they care. And so, yeah, this was another smart jogger video.
So I love detox baths. They take care of radiation poisoning. They take care of pesticides.
Okay, here's one from one of these ladies. And I don't know, detox bath, you ever done one? Let's see.
They take care of heavy metals, all kinds of things, even some parasites. So if you got a bathtub, you know someone's got a bathtub, that's the easiest, fastest way. Good old baking soda. So 1 or 2 cups of baking soda, 1 or 2 cups of Epsom salts in there. That already is a wonderful radiation detox. Gets fungus, yeast out of your body as well. You add a little bit of bentonite clay. Aztec Secret is a wonderful brand, 1/2 to 1 cup. Now you've also got a major pull of poison coming out. You add in 1 cup of borax, you know, that laundry detergent. That'll take nanotechnology out of you.
Wait, what the fuck? Did you just hear that? Borax will take the nanotech out of you.
No, I take everything out of you.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. Borax. Wow.
Borax.
Okay.
Isn't that
Borax
like
is very caustic. I think there's another name for it. Like, I think borax might be called caustic soda.
Caustic soda.
Right. I think you're right. But yeah, this sounds like a pretty fucking stringent bath, man. I use Epsom salts all the time and CBD bath bombs. That shit is awesome. Works really well. Like those little bath bombs, I just break them up into chunks and you dip that fizzing thing underwater and just press it right on the fucking where your muscle hurts, right? My shoulder's always hurting, right? And that shit works amazing, right?
Wow.
And so, but when she said borax in this nanotech thing, man, that's when I went, wait, what the fuck? Right. And because I don't know if I could recommend that, but I mean, maybe also putting all these things together might change it a little bit. But the borax one was the one that threw me because, yeah, Farm Girl even says that too. Don't use borax. Right. And so I tend to agree. Rev Truth says also olive oil pull the free radicals out of you too. Nice little tidbit there. But I wonder if she's even going to add anything more to this borax bath. Let's see.
You scrub down, scrub down, scrub down. 20 minutes as hot as you tolerate it, right?
Okay, that was the end of it. So I don't know if I want to try one. What do you think, man?
Just to say about her, by the way, she seemed to come into a certain amount of internet fame at the beginning of the Convids in 2020.
This lady, you know who she is?
Yeah. Oh, yes. And I'm trying to remember her name, but I can't. She's quite famous. And, well, she became quite famous because, like, she was basically on our side, like, against the whole thing, you know, and skeptical about the injectables and all this kind of thing, you know. And so, I mean, I thought she was genuine. I'm still not sure about her, but
I didn't see a name there. So.
Yeah, I didn't either, and I'm trying to think of her name, but I just can't think of it now. I think that she had, or claimed at least, to have had a practice, a doctor's practice in one of the southern states. It might have been Arizona. It could have been Texas.
Okay.
Can't quite remember, but somewhere around.
Is there anything surrounding her, like scandal?
Phoenix. I'm saying Phoenix actually, so maybe it was Arizona. But then she went to somewhere in South America, some South American country. It could have been, like, say, Guyana or one of those countries, maybe. And I got the impression she was doing it there because she was hiding out because she'd been so outspoken. Anyway,
is it that con lady that got put in jail? No.
Maybe, I mean, I think she was saying that the CIA or whatever was after her, right?
Okay.
But the thing is, I think because she was quite good looking and because she was totally on our side and seemed to be kind of, maybe she was sincere, but she wore a cross as a necklace and she seemed to be really pushing it front and center that she was a Christian. But at some point, do you remember when there was a lot of doctors, and some people are very skeptical. They say there's no such thing as germs whatsoever and other things like this. Maybe you're one of those people,
theory
right?
versus brain theory, right? Yeah.
Right.
I tend to.
Now, there are some people, you know, the way there's some people that they get very het up in this, and if you would say the word germ, they just freak out and they say it doesn't now.
Right? It's a fear thing.
Yeah. but some people are very ideologically possessed with this thing. Now, she spoke about the fact that, and I won't get your channel pulled now, but just by saying, she said that when she came to awaken to the fact that there was a lot of, or at least some things that weren't true, there was a lot of, well, I won't say scams, but things that didn't add up, right? Was when she learned about the tetanus injection when she was in college,
right?
And she learned that nobody had ever died of lockjaw or tetanus.
Right.
So she asked the question,
Like
why are we? Yeah, right. So she went on about this, very convincing. But I did feel just in my gut that maybe she's too good to be true. And, a lot of doctors then came out, and I won't name them all, but there were several doctors who came out and were on YouTube videos going around doing the rounds of different sort of relatively famous YouTubers.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all, on our side, let's say, right?
Right.
Well,
Nazi sorcerers turn on their own fucking thing. Yeah, I think it's.
well, no, it's just like, there were allegedly some doctors who were saying, listen, there's a thing called Mectin.
There's got to be one that has a conscience eventually, right?
Well, anyway, look, point is that she went on to a convention.
Okay.
So at the same time as like when, supposedly, we were all being locked down or whatever, and also like that, people were being arrested, like for wrong speech, for even suggesting there could be alternative treatments if the thing existed at all. She went to a convention with other doctors, and it kind of seemed like that there appeared to be evolving, or maybe always was, a grift for, let's say, our side, right? Us who were looking to sort of say, if the thing exists, there's other treatments. And now what she's doing there is saying to people, if you have taken, the Operation Warp Speed juice, right?
Yeah.
That you're not totally done for. And so now her business model seems to be, I'll explain to you how to get the toxins out of you. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe borax is not caustic soda, and maybe maybe the concentrations matter, or the dilution, or whatever it is. But it does seem as if that the thing that I think that I always felt, I'm not saying it is the case, but in case other people don't see it, but I'd be curious if they do, that there's something about, somebody who's trying to sell you a religion, and they kind of go, and I've got these healing crystals and this kind of stuff,
oil salesman. Yeah.
And that sort of stuff. There's something about her, unfortunately, I have to say,
Yeah. Oh,
along those lines. Yeah.
Right on. Yeah. No, I believe in the whole detox thing, of course. I'm always willing to try new things. The ones the little foot pads that you put on overnight, that sucks the heavy metals out of the base of your feet, the soles of your feet. Now, those things are amazing. And if you haven't tried them, I'd encourage you to give those a shot, because that's some good stuff. And then I'm always down to flush the toxins. You know me, but I don't know. I got to freaking do a little more research before I'm going to do a borax bath, I guess. So,
yeah.
Smart jogger coming. Here we go.
Dr. William Out and Channel 77 in Seattle. People ask me why Walmarts are closing. The answer is simple. When I took an Army logistics class, the U.S. Army developed a logistics system for Walmart. Walmarts were strategically set up around the world to act as military distribution bases. So if we have problems in Yemen, the Special Forces takes over the Walmart in Yemen. You can order a helicopter and nuclear weapons on a Walmart logistics system. There's a back door into it. They taught me that. If you are going to have Operation Jade Helm throughout the Southwest, you seize a Walmart. You can order things such as M16 rounds. You can order an M16 to the Walmart program. So they walk into a Walmart, fire 2,200 people in California. You're all laid off. Go away. No unemployment. Get out of here. Because the military then takes over their base. The specific logistics program I was trained on in California is the same program they use at Walmart. The Walmarts are federal military posts.
Oh shit! What do you guys think about that? I mean, it seems pretty fucking feasible to me.
I've been saying that shit forever.
Absolutely. This is why there's one everywhere. And this is, I mean,
and they're all on waterways, right next to highways, right next to train tracks. Everything's perfect. They're built like fortresses. They could, come on, man.
Yeah, they're built like prisons. Absolutely, 100%. So I thought that was a pretty good little catch. What do you think, John?
Well, look, sorry, man. I'm just going to have to admit that I was concentrating on something else there to look up the woman's name. I know going back to there, but just
no
for
worries.
completion, her name was Carrie Madej, Madej,
Okay.
and she did have a practice in Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, so you were right. Yeah. Oh, look, you're right there on the comments. You got it written down. Good, good. Yeah. No, they're just talking about how their Walmarts are literally set up as military posts that they're going to be taken over
Yes.
immediately. Some of them already are being taken over.
Why
by
do you
the
want guard towers in your Walmarts? Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Unfortunately, that military is going to be along with the enemy, I believe, right? And you're going to be fighting for this country. You know what they're going to be doing.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was a decent little video. But it was a smart jogger. See, he ducked off to the side and didn't do his interpretation on that one.
Yeah.
I was wanting to see the sign language and stuff, and I barely understood it.
But it's just amazing. There are sometimes like people have like, 500,000 views on one of their shorts, and it's just a guy pointing to a short you've already seen. And there's people like, wow, the way he points at that, it's amazing.
It's genius little operation, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
Listen closely.
Okay, this one is not a smart jogger, but this one's talking about the actual the real calendar, right? Because there used to be 13 months and 28 days, which goes along with the lunar cycle and part of nature, but they had to fuck that up. And so it's kind of interesting, but we'll pass it.
That's shocking. It's shocking. 1,900 food production.
Smart jogger. Smart jogger. This guy over here, do you know who that guy is? Anybody?
No.
He's oh fuck. In here I'm blanking his name now. He's special ops and he's been on Alex Jones before, but listen to what he's saying.
Companies in the past year have been destroyed. The two largest egg manufacturers in the United States have burnt down in the past 36 hours. We've had 2 planes smash into meat processing centers. And the only commonality amongst all of them are these 2 things. They make food for Americans, and it's on American land.
It's shocking.
It's shocking. 1,900 food production companies in the past year have been destroyed.
God, I can't. I'm still blanking
Tim
his
Kennedy.
name.
Tim
Yeah, there
Kennedy.
you go. You got it. You got it. He was. I remember him because he was in that show Hunting Hitler. Remember?
Right. Yes. And he doesn't like Nazis for some reason.
Yeah, oh wow. Gee, I wonder why. But yeah, Tim Kennedy, yeah, for sure. And so,
Yeah,
but
I remember him saying Nazis were bad. Okay.
right. But you hear what he's saying? Our food production facilities everywhere. I mean, the farmers are under attack over there in the Netherlands or whatever, and yeah.
Yes.
Food,
yeah.
food supply line being attacked right now. Be sure you
And
have
just,
some because
I'm sure you know, but the plan is they want to build a super city with, I don't know, 50 million people living in the greater Amsterdam and join Amsterdam with other cities around there in the lowlands, yeah. So they want to get farmers off those farmlands and make it into a big city.
Wow.
Yeah. They need to make it a city. Sounds like you're getting something to munch. I can hear.
No, I'm trying to clean up a mess I made.
Oh, okay, no worries. I was saying that, man. I would give me a candy bar, but
I would.
Here we go. Let's see. This one was also another smart jogger video. This guy, he wasn't as out there as the last few, but
he was wearing a cap though, so that's got to stand for something. Yeah?
He's not on the green screen over here, right? He's not floating around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's how we use the shady part.
Okay, this is just one of the farm ones that I keep about them, how to make mushrooms. I was interested in that. We'll skip. Okay. Oh,
here's how we pay ourselves, Sonny.
2 smart joggers. Talk about the S Corp. You guys want to watch it?
Oh, yeah.
mean, already look at the guy on one side. He already looks hilarious. So here we go. He does. Look at him. Woo, woo.
$500 a month as W-2 employees from our business. First, you want to make sure that your LLC is registered as an S Corp. This will save your business a ton of money because it allows your business to avoid double taxation. Next, you want to determine a reasonable salary to pay yourself based on your role and what your business can afford. Then you're going to create an account with the payroll processing company. We like to use Gusto. It's easy and affordable. We enter our salary in, set us up on direct deposit automatically so we get that paycheck every 2 weeks. Cha-ching. So if you want some more business tips, make sure you click that follow button.
All right. That was a pretty good one. He was pretty animated, huh?
Yeah. He explains the crap out of that. You know,
He did. He did.
he
For those
translated
hearing
from
impaired.
woman speak into stuff a man can understand. You know.
Right.
Well, yeah, these are the little things. I'm grabbing little gems from here and there to figure out how to do my whole trust and stuff like that. I think I got it pretty well figured out, but I like to.
All right. Well, look, if the next one is one more smart jogger, but it's mad. One more, and then I'm out. All right.
Okay. Next
All right.
one, we'll wonder whatever it is, and here we go.
Okay.
Oh, it's birds. Kind of cut the sound, but these are
Kind of like fish.
Birds.
It looks like.
Yeah, clouds of birds flying in the sky, and the video is talking about how maybe they're all in on the same frequency in order to be able to move like that in these type of cool patterns and whatnot.
Yes.
Right. So the birds are all in like a hive mind at the moment, right? All sharing the frequency of the earth, and that's what's basically guiding their flight pattern to make these type shapes. I mean, because look at that shit. That's insane, isn't it?
It is phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so that's basically they're following the harmony of the earth, and so nature is amazing. And that's a good way to
Yeah.
you know, end that instead of a smart jogger ending, right?
Yeah. Although it lacks a certain something. You need a smart jogger point. You're kind of go. The starlings know what's up. Yeah. You know.
We're at 2 hours right now. It's all good. I'm probably gonna roll a little bit longer, because I got plenty of time on StreamYard.
Okay.
And
So look,
but I do want to ask you one thing, John.
Yeah.
Well, I got you.
Go
Now,
ahead. Yeah.
We've been all loving the streams and stuff like that. Is there any chance of maybe one time when you're doing one, you could pull in some extra guests as well?
Sure,
From some of us, maybe.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we could pop in and chime in a little bit on what's going on in there. Is that a vague possibility at all?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, if you want to come on, yeah.
Oh yeah, I would love to.
do you
Not
want to
for the
pre-run?
whole thing, just for a short period or something,
Yeah,
maybe.
absolutely. Yeah.
'Cause you
do
guys
want
have
to?
some really pretty in-depth presentations, and
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, do you want to pre-arrange it, or do you just want to be in the chat and say, "Hey, can I come on?" And then I'll just put a link into the chat. Is that what? or
however you
what?
want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe even Jack might be a great little cameo guest to pop in.
Well, look, I think you do have my email, and I think Jack does or knows it too. Do you have my email, Jack?
Lost everything.
Lost everything in his phone.
Well, I'll just tell you anyway. I mean, my email address is eternalextrapolations, all one word, at Gmail.
Yeah, so so simple. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So get in touch, and we'll arrange it. Yeah.
That would be sick because you guys are doing some good work there.
Thanks.
Yes.
Very cool. Yep. Very cool. And you got a pretty cool little crowd there too. I've noticed.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of crossover with here. Slow Boy
Yeah.
is often there, and there seems to be a lot of people who like Jay Dyer, because JC's bringing those guys in, I suppose. You know, Ortho
That's Slow Boy,
Bros.
man. He diverts traffic, right? He
Yeah.
diverts traffic. Yep.
Yeah.
So good stuff. But what time is it over there? You got to get to sleep.
Yeah, it's coming up to 3:30.
Wow.
I hate to say it.
You're a super. That's awesome. No,
Yeah.
I find myself up at that time sometimes too, and I'd be like, "What the fuck am I doing?" I gotta
Well, look, sometimes JC and myself are talking this long, and like I feel really bad that it's going like sometimes 5-6 hours, you know, which seems like exorbitant, you know.
Right. Yeah, those are long ones, but you
Yeah.
guys have a really good back and forth.
Yeah, and sometimes I have to say to myself, look, I can't say like it's a tennis match. Sometimes you just sometimes don't bother returning serve. Sometimes just you gotta let some things go. Otherwise, you realize you're just gonna be there forever. You know. Not that we're debating too much, but we nearly had an argument there. I felt like about Melania Trump, but it was a nothing thing anyway. So it didn't really matter, like you know.
Yeah, let's argue about Big Mike Obama too, right?
Well, yeah.
Oh fuck! Just another player on the stage.
But at the same time, like I often say to myself, well, look, I'm amazed that it's been going for maybe something like nearly 6 months now, and the thing is, who knows how long anything lasts? So I sort of say to myself, look, better to get it recorded, and even at some point in the future, I might split something up and say I'll re-edit this, put that together, because it goes off in different tangents, but it's all there somehow. Like Jack often says, like it's all there. Like if you go back through everything,
Jack off. Oh my
with his own videos,
Yeah. Oh no, I love the little shorts too. You take a snippet out of the thing and put in the short.
Yeah. it can change the way something is. And sometimes, the way if YouTube forces you to put something within a minute, it sort of forces you to get more creative with things sometimes, to get a point across real quick,
Oh yeah. Yep. Because that short attention span most people have is definitely there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sure.
That's why I feel bad sometimes, like that. It's cruel to sort of say, "Hi, here's a 6-hour video."
I know, right? Well, I mean, usually what I'll do is I'm like, if I'm not doing anything or I'm working somewhere right around here in the room, I'll just click it on and listen to
Yeah,
it in the background.
exactly.
Right? And
I think for that, if it was a 6-hour video where you had to watch, that's not really possible. But if you can be doing stuff around the house or working or whatever and listen to it mostly like a podcast, that's all right then.
yeah, that's what most people do, I think. So, and I think it's pretty killer. I like I say, I always try to encourage everybody, get it out there, get it off your chest.
Yeah.
And he's got some good insight on the whole Freemason thing too.
Yeah, he really does. Yeah.
And
that's
a secret world that none of us will ever know.
None of us will ever know. Well, look, I think we're finding out,
we're
but it's
trapped
not
in their
really.
Dungeon. No.
Yeah, I don't want to know from that point of view. Yeah.
The only thing I know about the Freemason Lodge they had in Anchorage, we called it the Pink Temple. It was painted pink. There was no windows in it. 3-story building, 0 windows, right? And so there was.
Which lodge was that?
There's one in Anchorage there where I grew up. Where I grew up in the house, the haunted house I lived in, right down the corner.
Okay.
There was this big building, and I always wondered what the fuck is this, because there was never anybody there. There's never any cars in the parking lot, man. There's a guarantee that parking lot would be empty, and once every month or so, it'd be packed, right? And so then they'd all be doing their fucking druidic rituals or whatever the fuck they're doing at that time, right? And so we always thought it was really weird, right? Isn't that weird? Fuck yeah, big fucking building, prime piece of real estate. How the fuck did they pay the bills? So
yeah.
But it was there forever, perpetually. The Mason Lodge, right? No windows, no fucking windows whatsoever.
Yeah.
All I had was a very minimum requirement of fire escapes, and that was it.
Right. Yeah. Not even up, not up to code.
Oh, there was the front floor there was a strip of windows going up for like a story or so, and there was all you could see was a staircase, and that was it. That's all you could see from the outside of this place. So
yeah.
We all thought it was some freaky shit, right?
Hell yeah.
Definitely.
That's the dungeon. But so it's good to hear some of that inside.
I think what's good as well is that a lot of times, you or I, or well, I'll just speak for myself, I could look something up and figure I learned something, but not only was he a Mason, but that he does know the meanings of a lot of words. He did study history, so that if I'm misspeaking or trying to read something into the meaning of a word that isn't there, he'll sort of say, well, look, it doesn't really mean that. So he kind of keeps me from being going off in flights of fancy, that sort of way.
Yeah.
Drawing connections that aren't there,
Yeah, you guys work really good together. Yeah.
Yes, it's good.
Yeah.
But I'm very grateful for your positive feedback, and you'd be very welcome then to come on, and if you have any suggestions as to what you'd maybe like to talk about as a subject matter, let me know as well.
For sure. Yeah, for me it's usually what steps they're taking in the collapse, right?
Right.
So
where are we now, sort of thing.
Where are we
now?
Right.
Yeah.
And so mostly that's what I like to do, except for the smart jogger thing. But no, I would be like, yeah, for sure. I would let you know if I have an important thing that I like to share.
I'm interested in that too, because a lot of it, sometimes I feel like, okay, fine. Well, what's the point in, like, the Hillary Clinton thing? At this point, what difference does it make? I want to know, like, where are we? what difference does it make right now to us? Because can we get ahead of it?
Yeah. Grace Forrest says Bull Rider does jobs for the Freemason. And that has one that has his own TV show. Ooh, there you go. Mind control, right? And he said, she said, I won't say his name, but he won't ever talk about what they do. Of course not. I mean, they can't talk about that, can they?
Yeah. But it'd be interesting to know. Well, it could be anybody.
Yeah. Mostly cops.
Yeah. But that has his own TV show.
Yeah.
Or did he have his own TV show on Fox until recently?
Wow. I mean, you could have, sure, if you got like any type of, you don't even have to have a budget. You can have your own cable access show in most communities, right? Here, there in Anchorage, they literally had a room where you could come in and do your editing and everything, right? And so, yeah, it wouldn't be too hard to realize.
I see there's Matt, by the way, sorry for talking over you in the chat. There's Matt, kiss my ass tyrants there.
Yeah.
Super duper secret squirrel stuff.
Yeah, that's a good one. Oh yeah.
So
I was hoping he would come on and tell the B story, but
maybe he will. If
yeah.
he does, I'll stick around until he does, because he's been very complimentary and you know, decent to what he's been saying
Let
to
me
me.
drop the
And
link just in case he can, and so that way, click on the link, Matt, and tell us all about this B thing if you can. If you can't,
Hell yeah.
I know it's a lot to enter into the chat, but I told this bit a little bit earlier. What you told me that you after getting the bee stings, you had this miraculous healing from your joint pain, and we're very interested in that. And I have much respect for anybody who can keep bees, because you have to literally attract them, right? You have to attract them to yourself, and not just even just the hive, right? The hive will attract them so much, but you know, you're basically got to have a good vibration, is the way I see it, that even be a beekeeper.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. So much respect to Matt in that respect. And I'm sorry that I wasn't able to read your comments. I remember seeing them in the last stream, and you're talking about getting bee stung, but this is before you had the healing, I guess. And so it totally intrigues me.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, you got a chance. Oh, fuck, shit, piss, bro. Look at the last comment.
What up, Tails? Tell us some more tales. What does that mean?
This is a fucking troll fuck that we think might be somebody from that used to be in the group that was in one of our streams last time, and he's trying his he's trying his bitchiest fucking to insult us, and we're laughing our asses off at his pathetic attempts. But it's some kind of a troll type dude trying always his back, Jack. And he says, "What up, Tails? Remember Tails? Tails from the crypt.
Oh yeah.
What up, Tails? Tell us some more tales," he says.
Oh yeah.
So, hey, I thought, okay, John, I'm gonna tell you. Remember, we used to have a guy in the group named Devin, right? And he went by American Patriot, and then also went by Speak Freely, and he read some comments that we had made in one of Shooty's streams that he termed as backstabbing. Backstabbed me, right? And this is the thing I kept saying, right? When the first time he thought that I called him a loser, and I didn't, but I said at the end, I'm like, hey, I didn't call you a loser. Quit being such a pussy, right? And so there, I did call you a pussy. Now get worried, right? Because you're acting.
Well, if you're acting like a pussy, I mean, you know,
men will call you out. And so this is why I kept telling, like, even like Winwar, right? Don't fucking act like a little pussy. Don't nitpick.
Yeah, and we won't call you out.
Right. And so this was my thought. I thought it was Devin. But looks like he's not coming back to us.
Well, that's
unfortunate. Might be intimidated.
Oh, Matt said, yeah.
Yeah, but he was okay. You gonna tell him what he called you, Jack?
The crypt keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, you know, it's great. But if he would ever meet up with my 6'2", 185-pound ass, he might not think that he would see death. He would see death, all right.
You would be the crypt keeper for sure.
Oh, I would be the crypt keeper if we ever got to meet. Yeah. Oh,
like the Undertaker in the wrestling. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
But so
trying always. Come on, bring it. What do you got? You gotta have something better than that. Jesus, give it a shot. Give it a shot. What can you fucking? I mean, okay.
Well, isn't it peculiar? Just like he was saying about the TikTok videos and the formulaic way that the jogger always points and this and that. Speak Freely and American Patriot and this particular guy, it's always two words. It's always the same verbiage. It's always the same jokes. It's, you know, I mean, there's no originality there, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Matt.
There's
Matt.
There's Matt.
Hiya, Matt.
Cheers, brother.
Welcome.
How y'all doing?
Hell yeah, man.
Doing great. Doing great.
Thanks for doing your best to come on.
Setting up. That's awesome. Oh, he's peeking in. This will be the first time that we've seen Matt on the stream, and so grateful.
Oh yeah.
Going on.
just coming into a corner of it.
In this frame. See, he's making us wait.
Well, yeah, so you can see a corner there.
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you fine, loud and clear.
Yeah, I strapped the old phone to my press, so I don't have to hold it, so I can stay busy while I'm in the group.
Nice, awesome,
Nice.
awesome. So we're totally interested. Well, I am for sure about this bee sting thing. Tell us a little bit about the whole beehivery and how you got stung and whatnot, and then how it made you pain free. I think we have a delay.
Well, basically, I decided to go into. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Yeah, like I said, the Wi-Fi here isn't that good. So I don't know. You can hear me?
Yeah, you got a good spot. We can hear you very well. Go ahead, tell the story, and we're all listening.
Okay, well, I went to break into my second hive of bees, the box, and make sure everything, because I'm really just a beginner at this. Okay, and I knew after watching several videos, I knew that things need to be changed around inside the box and done right. As far as having the frames in the right place and whatnot, and I just wanted to check on them. And I knew the way I had it set up, just cutting the branch and putting it in the box, I knew that they had already started making comb on the lid, on the underside of the lid. So I had to take care of that and address it. So I did it. I went in there and I worked it and was able to save probably 90% of the comb that they had already made and attached. There was 5 good sized ones attached to the lid, under the lid of the box.
I love to eat that stuff.
And I was able to put those into frames, rubber band them into frames, and load them back in the box, get everything squared away. I put a honey super on with a queen excluder so that anything the bees do in that box will be nothing but nectar or honey. She can't get in there to lay eggs, so there won't be any brood or anything. I won't check that till later, probably this fall. But anyhow, in the process, I get, and it was kind of a double whammy thing. Not only did I want to check on the box and make sure it was in good shape and the bees were doing good, but I also wanted to see if I'm allergic to honeybees, because I've been stung by all different types of bees and wasps and hornets, and I know for a fact I'm highly allergic to yellow jackets. So I'm keeping bees now, so I got to know if I'm allergic to honeybees. So I figured, I'm gonna end up taking them and finding out. Well, I did. I got stung 3 times. One of them was real mild. The other was,
Okay, so did you do it on purpose?
The third one was fire. It got me on my, and what's that?
Did you do it on purpose then? I think we have a little bit of a delay, but no big deal. I was just wondering if you purposely got stung.
No. Yeah, no.
Okay.
No.
Well, was it? How? I mean,
Not at all. No. But I knew I was going to end up getting stung messing with them.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So tell us more about how.
Yeah. So it burned. It was.
Yeah.
Huh? Oh,
I know they burn. They sting. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So, but I wasn't having like an allergic reaction like I normally do, like with yellow jackets. So I was happy. I was cool. I was like, all right, everything's gonna be fine. I can do this. And later that night, I had a dream, very vivid dream, that my hand was itching really bad. I was scratching the hell out of it, and I couldn't stop the itch. Well, I woke up sometime after. And had to go take a leak, and my hand was fucking itching like crazy. My finger was a little swelled up, but I couldn't, I could not fucking stop scratching. It just wouldn't, no matter what I did, it just, it was one of those deep itches that you can't scratch. Yeah. So, so the next day, it was swelled up a little bit more and, continued to itch, but I got to the point where I could mentally just block it out and forget about it. And, come Monday morning, this was on a Saturday, come Monday morning, I'm at work, I'm about halfway through walking around picking up grounds, which is something we do every morning at work. We go around, pick up the trash for about an hour. And usually my knees for the last 5-10 years, my knees would be bothering me. They'd be hurting by this point. I've had trouble. I got trouble with my elbows, my hands, my wrists, my back, and I've been in denial about having, arthritis. So, because it's another, milestone age thing. And so halfway through the walk, I noticed that none of my joints are hurting, and it just struck me, and it was very odd, and it kind of took me back a little bit. I was like, wow, what the fuck's going on? I ain't felt like this in a long time. So as soon as I'd ask a question, it was almost like it would get answered. It was really weird. As soon as I was like, why aren't my joints hurting anymore? And immediately, because of that bee sting. And I was like, what the fuck? How the bee sting gonna help my joints? And then I remembered, just like that, this show I'd seen on the television probably 20-30 years ago, where these kind of hilljack types were treating people with arthritis with bees. They would make the bee sting them like on the knee or on the hand or wherever they had the arthritis, and they swore by it. And it's one of the things you watch and you're like, yeah, okay, yeah.
Wow. No,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I did. I remember now you saying that.
So,
it jogged my memory. Wow.
So it's real, and you're a living testament of it. Wow.
So it works. It works. It worked. Now I'm not gonna call it a cure, because my knees started hurting just a little bit yesterday. It's been a week.
Okay, then I have a quick question
But
too.
it's a hell of a treatment, and it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot cheaper. Huh?
My question would be, do you?
It's natural. It's natural. Yeah, it's all natural.
I myself use the honey, the honeycomb, the pollen, and organic cinnamon mixed together in hot water in the morning, and that's what got rid of my knee pain. And I was a tourist that I was talking to told me about it. He said that the doctors were planning, the Nazi sorcerers were planning on fucking chopping off his fucking knees, right? And replacing them. And he didn't want to do that. So he describes escaping from the hospital, doing a bunch of research, started to take this concoction, and he jumped up and danced around. And I was like, if this old guy can dance around, then I'm going to try it. And I started to do that systematically too. And it takes away all the joint pain as well. And so I'm thinking the same things in there, honey and pollen and stuff like that, right? And so if you continue to use this, you'll probably be able to continue with this no pain thing. And so I always tell people, try it.
Well, for anyone that thinks that possibly that all the pharmaceutical companies that can make these things, well, they just make them out of natural things, and then they synthesize them. So they only can get the idea from the planet, from the place, whatever, right? And then they can devilize it and sell it to us and tell us that anyone that does holistic shit is a fucking fruitcake.
Yeah. The Nazi sorcerers for sure. What do you think, John?
Oh, I was just trying to look up something there to get some facts straight. So, you know the way you might have heard, like that there was this sort of rhyme that you would say vinegar on a wasp sting and something else on a bee sting. I can't remember what it is anyway, but the principle involved was that bee stings are acidic and wasp stings are alkaline. And I remember hearing recently that arthritis is a buildup of a type of urea in the joints. Maybe from talking to Matt, I don't know.
Is that like urea for urine?
Yes. Oh, yeah. And I think that, it's crystalline urea. So I think it does come from the bodily functions not working properly anymore or as efficiently.
Gotcha. Sure.
That the sugars in your blood crystallize and that they collect then at certain crossover points, which would be at your joints, causing them to be not as supple, whatever the gel would be there between the joints. Now, the principle of peeing on jellyfish, there is something to it on jellyfish stings because it might also be acidic. So rather than say if you have a sting and you pee on it to get rid of the pain, how about if you have essentially pee in your joint and you inject the acidic venom, and that would then cause the same chemical neutralization, where maybe the effect is then it breaks down these crystals. so that you don't have as much pain anymore. And then, as Matt there says, well, it didn't cure it because maybe if the same bodily functions are then, putting more crystalline urea there eventually, that you might need more. So it could be like a treatment rather than a cure. But there's something to it in regards to acid cancelling out a base or an alkaline.
Right. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Looks like Farmer Girl's got to go. Thank you so much for joining. Look forward to seeing you again, and so happy that you showed up here. We miss you guys. And so, I love the story. I think that for sure. I mean, I want to get stung by a bee now, right? No. I remember the last time I did get stung by a bee, though, and when I was a little kid, I got stung by a bunch of wasps, and it swole my fucking head up to twice the size of the shit. No shit.
Oh my God.
It was fucking. I was the elephant boy, right? And that's no shit. I remember when it happened. We're up in the fucking hills with my cousin. They lived out in the fucking weeds up there, and we went out there and we were down by this creek. And I just remember we were going along the bank, and I thought it was just a branch that was getting me, right? Kept fucking getting me, and so I was knocking this branch out, and little do I know I'm fucking knocking this fucking wasp nest or some shit, right? And they all just fucking descended on me and
God.
at me, right? And I literally fucking, even though I didn't know how to swim or anything, right? I fucking dove into the goddamn water.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that deep, but I stayed underwater and got all the way across the creek. And fucking before I even came out, right? When I came out, I was like, fuck, man. I could feel it, dude. Just complete fire, right? I mean, I knew I was fucked up. And so I hurry up. And, I mean, the wasps were gone by then. And so I went down a little bit and then fucking went across the creek back. I mean, I was already fucking fully soaked. Didn't matter. Fucking cut back across the creek and went up to the house to show, my step uncle or my step aunt, right? It's my stepmom's sister where we're at. And fucking they took one look at me and fucking right to the hospital, right? And I didn't even see myself until I looked in the mirror and it fucking freaked me the fuck out, right?
I'd say it would, yeah.
Dude, I was freaked out. I started fucking crying immediately, right? And dude, get this. They freaking got a hold of my folks somehow. They were down in they took off to go fishing or something like that. And I had wanted to stay in with the cousins, right? And so they let me. Thanks for joining, Matt. Thanks for explanation. Everything that was awesome. Love you, brother. I'll hit you up. But anyway, they left me there at the house alone for a while. They knew the parents were coming back, right? And so I remember sitting there and fucking I'm going in and looking at the mirror and looking at my fucking head. It was so fucked up, dude. I'm not even kidding you. I had like a double-sized head. I'm not even kidding you. And the ear was the worst part. It was just gigantic and fucking all unfolded, right? It was freaky as fuck because it was all swole. I mean,
did you ever see, was it Will Ferrell or one other guy in the Land of the Lost where this prehistoric insect it stings him? And this huge
yeah, a giant fucking thing. Does it look funny? Right? No, this fucking thing took me a while to recover, and apparently now after this massive dose of fucking wasp venom, they claim that I'm now allergic to them. But I'm not certain on that. I just think so many of them got me at that one point that I was lucky, but completely different scenario than a bee sting. Is the wasp thing, of course, but the last bee sting I got was on the back of my neck, right in the middle of the back of my neck. Was when I was seining. I was on the skiff throwing what we call tossing the ring, try to scare the fish into the net, right? And I just felt something. I thought it was just like my hair tie or something bundling up because I had hair back then, long hair in the back, ponytailed up. So I kind of reached back to grab it and move it. Fuck, here I am squishing this bee into the back of my neck, and it literally stung me right between the spinal cord. I was like, right?
Oh, God. You got me in the spinal cord.
I know, it gave me a spinal tap, right? And, no, that shit fucking was fire, right? It burned like a motherfucker for a while. And so I don't know, when was the last time any of you got bee stung?
Never been stung.
What?
By anything.
Never.
Nope.
That's crazy.
Yep.
What about you, John?
Not probably since I was a kid, but I've been practicing lately. Like, if a bee will fly in, I have been able to pick a bee up, have it in the palm of my hand, just not panic and just carry it out, sort of thing.
How would you feel about stinging yourself in some place where you have pain? Grab a bee and fucking
Yeah. Well, I might do it as an experiment, but I mean, I know you're saying you're going. I'll say it for you. You're going right on the cock or something like this, you know.
No, well, your cock's still working.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like on your knee, like he was saying, you know, in your knee or your knee pain.
Yeah, I could see it. I it's funny because he jogged my memory on that. I had seen the same, I think it was a documentary or something back in the 90s, it seems like.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was about these people who use bees, and they put them on their shoulders and in their knees and everywhere, tennis elbow, and they would claim that it would yeah, I don't know, man.
I'm gonna try to search it real quick while we still have John for just a moment. I'm gonna put in bee sting therapy.
Yeah, I could believe that there's something to it, and as well as that, you know, as far
It says
as
bee sting therapy near me.
near
Wow.
me,
Near me. Okay.
Like there's
Well,
some near me.
Okay, so yeah.
Look, oh dear, there is. Like, check it out, gents. There is here's this page. First one, Be Informed, the Heal Hive, Be Well Therapy, Bee Venom Therapy, right here.
Okay.
Bio testimonials. Steroid caution, huh? The Chung Institute of Interactive Medicine, Bee Venom Therapy. But you know, the Chinese were into some of this. And check it out. There's some YouTube videos even. Bee venom therapy cured her Lyme disease. Boom. Bee venom therapy and shingles. Fuck, oh dear. So there is a bit on this, as we can see. So something I'll have to look into. I would be 100% down to get a bee to sting me. Shit.
Let me just add this into the mix then. I thought that I remembered hearing it, so I looked it up. Snake venom, obviously, we can make some comparisons.
Right, snake oil.
Yeah, and so a lot of people collect the enzymes because an enzyme, again, I don't know exactly what it is, but it's something that breaks down something and it eats it. And I've heard snake venom can be used to arrest necrotiting fasciitis, you know, where there's this kind of disease where the skin is eating itself, but that also you could use snake venom to at least stop that. But also there are some super bugs that maybe snake venom could be used against, you know, like that there's no drugs anymore that they're resistant, or sorry, yeah, they're resistant to any drugs, so snake venom. But also I'm reading here, it says the proteins in snake venom have been used to treat many conditions, including cancer, pain, high blood pressure, heart attacks, strokes, Alzheimer's disease, and Parkinson's disease. So
I think we did. I did a bit on this a long time ago too. Something about snake venom.
I believe so.
Remember that, Jack?
Yeah, all this sounds so familiar.
Yeah, it was something they were saying it was a cure for maybe the baloney virus. Who knows? It was something like that, right?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the antidote and the disease could be, you know, both two sides of the same coin there, possibly. Yeah, there was a big theory on that. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. I think that there's a cure in nature all the time, and I would say I would be more inclined to get it from a honeybee, something that's creating, you know, life, right, rather than a snake, right? So,
well, yeah. But the other thing, of course, is like a lot of snake venom is designed to put its victim to sleep or to make it not panic and this kind of thing.
Paralysis.
Yeah. So, like, there would be an application for that if your heart was racing too much or whatever, you know. But the other aspect of the bees, of course, is that they say eat honey from your local area. I think you've said that yourself, because then you won't be allergic to any of your own natural pollens in your own environment.
100%. And that if you take enough of it, along with the honeycomb and the pollen too, you can knock out allergies that way. So they say. But Matt makes a good point. Says if you're going to sting yourself, make sure it's a honeybee, right? Not a yellow jacket.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I think he said he's allergic to yellow jackets. I think that you don't need to be allergic to them. Yeah, but I think you don't need to be allergic to them, because, like, if you get stung by more than one yellow jacket, I mean, what's the difference between being allergic and just being in extreme pain anyway?
Wow, they do have a lot of venom.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a big difference between that and a honeybee.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah, and I like the
honeybees.
honeybees
over and over.
Yeah, I do like the honeybees, and I can tell the difference. So you see the yellow jackets, it's like, fuck.
Yeah,
back the fuck
I'll say
up.
this as well. He says, make sure it's a honeybee, but not an Africanized bee. Those Africanized bees.
Oh yeah,
the Afro bee.
They're always, isn't it funny? They're always a different matter. These Africanized, they're Africanized weapons.
If there's one down in the subway in New York, you want to avoid those Africanized bees. Yeah.
Get it. Forget about it.
Oh shit! Oh my god, that's hilarious. That's so good. It's a good way to bring that whole jogger thing to a
bring it all to a close. Call back to it. Listen, I think I'll get off the stage now and leave you wanting more. Say cheers, Matt.
Absolutely,
Thanks for
right?
coming on. You know,
It was amazing. No, there was one last article I've seen. Of course, I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was like 6 youths that beat up some lady in New York. I don't know if you saw that one. And we can guess what kind of people they were.
troubled teens. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Huh.
Oh god. All right.
All right. Listen, I'll say
Get a
thanks
ball,
again,
man. Dude,
I'm gonna head on, and good to
you
see you
always
too,
make me
Matt.
laugh so much. I love it.
It was good. Hey, it's great.
You too, guys.
Thanks,
I
John.
love that smile and
Yes.
the accent, and we all love it. We're so grateful to have you on. And,
Likewise.
That's great.
Anytime, brother. Pop in
Thanks, guys.
anytime.
Will do.
Cheers, brother.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Fuck yeah. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
that was great. Yeah, that was great.
Love him, man. He's
Oh yeah.
always dude.
I just love to listen to him talk.
Talking, right? He's got that great freaking voice, great,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
articulate.
Yeah. I learn a lot every time that he talks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Very interesting.
It's soothing. Yeah.
It is.
It's just like your voice, bro.
Well, you know, we have that quality, and you do too. We all do, and that's why some people don't like it. You know, and they feel like they should have it too, and they would if they would only foster it. But whenever you ask certain people to seize the day, seize their power, they cower. Reg, they don't want to do it because it would involve work and it would involve getting off their asses and doing something. You know, and most people don't want to do that.
So much easier to sit on your ass. So
Well, and figuratively and literally, you know.
yeah. So I gotta warn you, bro. When you get here, we are going to have to sit down and record that freaking audio gold. You call your voice. We're gonna have you read. I'm gonna have you read some lines.
Oh yeah,
for the whole thing, right?
for sure.
Yeah.
No, we got a lot of stuff to do. We know we got a lot of stuff to do.
And you're gonna have to take out one of these puppets that you're going to be the voice for.
Right.
Probably a couple of them, I'm guessing, because I want to get those killer accents, ghetto accents and shit like that.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
we're gonna have some fun. Oh yeah.
And a little bit of that baboon heart.
Oh yeah. We'll do an Uncle Jimmy one. I got lots of voices. You know, we could do the tribal member. Oh yeah, you know, that kind of guy.
Hell yeah. All of the above, please. You know, because I need something to get me sparked back into that whole creative thing as it is too.
Right. No, and you were going so good, you know, but then so many things happened, and I don't know.
I admit it was going pretty gang fucking busters, but I'm telling you what, man, that fateful day tore a lot of it out of me, right?
Yeah.
And I'm still recovering from that. It's getting a little bit better. Hey, either way, I still got about another year here because that's the soonest they might be able to, you know, move against me and make me move out to sell this house, right? And so, shit, another year, fuck, shit. Fucking Antichrist will be here by then. Fucking we'll all be in heaven. Who cares, right?
Right. I don't know, man. It's interesting that I'm going to be able to come up there. And
no,
we're
it's
going to be able to do it. Yeah. It's very funny. It's good timing. It's what needs to happen.
Yeah, there's so much shit that can be done right here within 1 mile of my own house, right? And I'm talking mostly about the creek. I mean, wait till you get down there, brother. And then just right here, my house, my backyard, my little area right here. It's fucking awesome.
I can't wait.
Yeah, you could be able to see the eagle's nest right there by the house. You'll probably be able to get a fish. Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
Oh yeah. You know what, man? I just wanted to walk around and look at stuff and just listen to you talk about whatever. Go to wherever you want. It doesn't even matter, dude. Just it will be away from where I am now. That's the main thing.
Right on, brother. Yeah, got plenty of shit planned. The best of which is going to be the car jump.
Well, you know, that's gonna. Hey, apparently there's gonna be 5,000 to 7,000 people there, Reg. So.
Yeah, it's a big event.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
I'm literally not. I'm serious about keeping my ears open for like a $500 car that we might be able to launch ourselves, right?
Hey, if we could take it up there, I'm sure they'll launch it for us.
I
I
know.
mean,
See, the rigs I have right now are they're worth too much to be doing that with.
oh yeah, for sure.
I should be able to scrounge up something that's a complete piece of shit. As a matter of fact, I got a buddy who's got a fucking van, right? Who it's just trash, but he's still hanging on to it like, you know, it's gonna get fixed up. And
Right.
I might offer him $500 for it. He might take it. And
Dude, if we could do that, we'd be immortalized, you know, up there, because not everybody just wants to give trucks away to do it. He has to buy them, you know, and some people will give it up to the cause, but a lot of times he has to buy the vehicles that he launches.
what? No way. I thought it was everybody was a volunteer rig.
No, I don't think that's the way it is. I think the guy buys some of those. Or maybe it was that he used to.
Donated and he fixes them.
Yeah, I think maybe it was that he used to, but he does now just get donations. I don't know how it goes, but I think that he does like sweeten the deal whenever there's going to be 5,000 people there. You don't want to just launch, you know, 20 cars. You want to launch a bunch.
Right, as many as you can.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that would be fucking totally sick because you can paint
Oh,
whatever
dude.
you want on it, right? And make the design all yours before you launch, right?
Well, there's a really good video. I was going to send you the video of I was going to send you the best coverage I've seen of it, and it is fun. It looks like a lot of
I've
fun.
watched some of the YouTube videos, yeah, and hilarious. And the news goes there sometimes. I've seen it on the news before too, right?
Is that right?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
local news. Yeah. See, because nationally, people will hear of a 20-carat yellow diamond coming out of Arkansas nationally, but we get to hear here on the local stuff about people finding 1 carats and 2 carats and 10 carats, and you know. But it has to be a huge one in order for it to be nationally.
Wow.
So I guess it's the same thing for you. You know, it's like. You guys got the car jump up there, and it's a pretty cool local event, but not everybody in the nation hears about it. But I heard about it.
Yeah, it's not far from here too. It's like 40 miles, 40 50 miles, something like that. So
we should go. We got to go, bro.
Yeah, it's right there.
If we can't do a live stream from
it's
there,
at like 9 a.m. though, so we got to go like hella early, or people camp out there the night before.
Yeah, well, we can do whatever, man. We'll plan it. I'll look into it
I got
further.
some camping gear.
Hey, we can go camping, dude. I'm with that.
I got a killer
I'm always
tent
with.
and stuff, air mattress and stuff like that. I can
Hell
set
yeah.
you up with, and then I'll just fucking throw a little cushion in the back of my truck with a little cover, and I will be able to sleep in that type scenario.
They say it's a blast, dude. I believe it. I think it'll be
weather
fun.
dependent, bro.
Yeah, I know that's true.
If it's
They
sunny,
said that too.
let's go out and camp overnight. If it's rainy, we'll go out in the morning.
Okay, because they say they do it rain or shine.
Rain or
So,
shine, yep.
but I don't. You know, we don't have to camp in the rain.
No, fuck no. Right? If it's that short of a drive, it's only like I'm sure it's not even a full hour, right? And so that's fucking nothing, right?
Yeah, that'd be a fun drive, actually.
You know, but
it'll be a fun drive if we either way. We're gonna get to drive up that way. It's gonna be beautiful.
it's about halfway to the land at the lake that we have too. Halfway to that, so Little Lake Louise. So it's not that bad. Yeah, it'll be a blast.
Oh, it'll be a blast, and we'll
Yeah, I'm
take
gonna find
video.
some kind of car to launch. I will.
Oh, that would be too crazy. Because then, if you do that, then they give you access to the top of the mountain. We'll be able to stand up at the
VIP
top.
pass.
Yes, and that might be the way. That might be the way to get in.
Well, it'll be the total experience then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we should probably do that. I'll throw in on that for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like I said, I got a buddy with the junker ass piece of shit that I could probably fucking.
Dude, hey, I might even throw a GoPro in there just for the
Ooh,
experience.
there you go. We could probably collect it after. We could kind of help
yeah.
clean up and go grab that fucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be sick. And that way we could be like have a 2-camera angle too, right by the
Yeah.
edge, right by the edge of cliff, and watch them coming down and flying off. If you're like say with the launchers, then
Oh
you
yeah,
get to be up
we can
there.
have a person down at the bottom, person at the top, and then that'd be great.
That'd be
And the
sick.
GoPro,
Yeah.
that'd be so cool.
Fuck yeah. No,
Well, we could really we could be part of it rather than just watching it.
Yeah, it's too bad. There was a car here that if it was running, it would have been the perfect one to do. It was a fucking old, fucking like a what was it? Fuck, it was one of those like a Sierra, but it wasn't exactly that. But I used to drive that fucking car around, and then there was two of them out here. Too bad they were too rotten to fucking actually get going. But no,
those little cars have a lot of power, and they fly up that mountainside.
Bro, there's a ton of fucking junkers around here, right? It ain't gonna be that hard to find. There's gonna be somebody who's gonna be willing to take $500 for a piece of shit that's barely going, right?
Yeah, all it has to run is like 100 feet.
Yeah. As long as it fucking runs enough, they drop the thing, the weight on the fucking gas.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to drive it up there. So it has to make it 40 miles, then it has to make it up the mountain, and then it has to jump off the cliff.
You can tow it there too.
I guess you could. Yeah, that's true.
That probably be a better option. I know that people take cars out there literally on trailers, right? And so I've seen that because I saw the newscast of it and shows them showing up, right? And yeah, some of them aren't fit to drive all the way out there, right? They're only fit for one little run, right? So they take no chance of driving the piece of shit out there. They're towing that shit, right? And so, yeah.
Well, some people cannonball run all the way up there. Some guys, they came from Arizona one year. Like they drove like 4,000 miles just to drive their Jaguar off the cliff. Pretty cool.
Fuck.
Yeah. So I mean, you never know what you're going to see, and they always try to up the ante every year. So I guess we'll see what we see this year.
Yeah, it'll be crazy. It's I'm actually stoked. I usually don't do hardly shit on the 4th, right? And so this is something. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure there's going to be a pretty, I mean, maybe I don't know how long it'll take, or what the brightness will be out there. But if they're going to start it at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, that's what it's scheduled for this year. I looked up on the Google search. I just Google searched it 2023, and it says it's scheduled for 9 a.m. On the 4th. And so that's a Monday?
Yeah, I guess it is Monday or Tuesday. The thing is, I wonder if they keep it going all day, and then if there's not going to be any night. I don't know how the night works up there. Is there no nighttime?
There is no night.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Not around the solstice, and the 4th is very near the solstice. Solstice is
right.
the longest day of the year. You're not even going to get anything that you're going to consider real darkness. It's kind of like a dusk situation, right? Where the on the solstice, if you go up high enough, you can watch the sunset for 3 fucking hours, right? It looks like it's going to set, but it just never does. And I'm not kidding you, right? It's not like Hawaii when it goes down in 6 minutes, right? No, I'm not kidding about the whole 3-hour thing, right? You're going to fucking be amazed. That's what everybody says when the first time they come up here in the summer. They're like, fuck, the sun just doesn't give up, does it? It's like, nope, sure the shit doesn't. And this is also part of the whole zetetic cosmology thing. But yeah, you'll see it. Expect the sunset's about 12:31 a.m., something like that. And won't even be that long till it's back up at about 4 in the morning, right? 4 5. No, I mean, not even kidding you. Now the sun really sets, but the sky doesn't really get dark, is what I'm meaning.
Right.
And so it's like you're only going to get darkness for 3-4 hours, even though they call it 6 hours from sunrise to sunset. At the longest period of the days, which is right around the 4th, you'll be here right during that. So you're going to get to experience that, which is crazy.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Longest fucking days ever. And for me, it's a bitch because I have to block all the windows in order to sleep because I can't sleep with light, right? And so that's the thing about Alaskan summers for me. Wintertime's awesome because everything's fucking dark all the time. You literally don't have to put anything over your window. And so
it stays pretty much dark all the time in winter.
It's basically whatever day of the year it is, we're either losing or gaining 5 minutes a day. That's how it works here, right? And so we're gaining now, and we have been, and we're over 12 hours of light now. We have been. We're probably up to 13 or 14 hours of light. So we're going the other way. and we'll get up to actually 18 hours of daylight at its peak on the solstice on the 21st of June, and then the effect of that continues on. It seems like it's even more so on the 4th, which is a couple weeks later, but it's still at that extreme. So yeah, and then it slowly counters down till August. Days are getting shorter. By October, you're back down below 12 and 12, right? And getting real cold. And then by winter, you got 6 hours of daylight by solstice in December, right? You got 6 hours of daylight and 18 hours of sunset, right? And this is why you can see the northern lights, because it's dark all the fucking time. And yeah, in the summer you can't see them because it hardly gets dark, and so that's why we don't see them in the summer. But that's how it is. So be prepared for that. You'll love it. It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I always wanted to experience that.
Yeah, it'll be midnight and it'll still be light out.
Yeah.
That's why they call it Land of the Midnight Sun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
So fucking A, dude. I'm so super stoked.
Oh yeah.
It'll be awesome to share my little bit of Alaska with you.
Oh yeah. I can't wait. It just sounds well,
So be ready for that. You like fish, right?
Of course.
Yeah. And so best in the world. Very healthy. The omega-3s in it are the best ever. So yeah. Yeah, hell yeah, I'll be ready. I've been working on that room already. It's got its own bathroom and everything, and it's probably the most peaceful room in the world, or in the whole house, right? Quiet, nice, the whole works. So
cool.
Also, I was going to say, I know how it is. It's like we know each other, but your wife does not know me or anything like that. And if she feels any kind of uncomfortable type thing, I was gonna say I'm not gonna be insulted if she wanted to get a hotel room or something, right? Too.
Oh no, it won't be like that. We'll see. We'll see. It will. My wife is wondering if she's gonna come or my son's gonna come or who's gonna. Yeah, it's like she wants me to do this, and she just wants it to be the most.
Yeah, it's a guy thing.
The most comfortable thing possible for me and you. So whatever that is. So we're still discussing who's doing
totally
what,
cool
but
with whatever you guys decide, I'm totally cool with it. You say you have your own room, it has its own bathroom, totally. In the corner, I'd stay in the basement. There's kitchen area, all the food, you'll have access to all of it. You can have whatever you want while you're here. There's a ton of it, so I'm never tripping about that. And whatever, mi casa es su casa, right?
yeah, for sure. Yeah. And that's the same thing. Whenever you come down here finally.
Also, I can set up a freaking little outside. What I do every summer is I set out a little outside sleeping area where I literally go out and sleep out there in a little tent so the mosquitoes don't get you, right? And then it's got an opening on the top that you can look out in the stars. It's fucking sick, right?
Oh, I'd love to see. That sounds like what I want to do.
Yeah. And so that's one of my favorite things about the summer is being able to sleep outside.
I would rather sleep outside. I want to sleep outside every night if I can.
Yeah, I know, man. I used to go out there and fucking sleep on this mattress out there and fucking cover up and just put a little bit of mosquito netting over my head, right? And freaking sleep out there. I've done that even close to winter because it's darker then. You could see all the UFOs and shit. It's crazy.
Oh, that's what I want to do, man. I can't wait. I think we should spend as much time outside as possible.
Oh, fuck yeah. It's going to be constantly on the outs, except coming in to eat, right?
Oh, of course.
But we got a barbecue outside on the deck for that and all that too, so it'll be sick. And that's right about the time where it's getting to the tail end of the first little salmon run, and so it's gonna be sick. Hell yeah,
it's gonna be great.
Dude, I'm stoked.
I can't wait.
He's the only thing that makes me fucking cheered up, right?
For sure.
And yeah, we're gonna have some fun with the puppets, all that.
Should be great. And we'll share it with everyone. That's the thing. That's what people need to know. Also, we're gonna do that. We would do a live stream probably while we're there. That'd be just crazy.
We could do one right here. In this my studio place, right? And then if your phone connects while we're up there, boom, we can do one right there from your phone. But otherwise, I'll be recording it on a couple different cameras, be able to bring it back, edit it, and upload it. And so as a permanent thing.
And even if my phone doesn't do the live stream, I'll record everything from my vantage point too. And
There
then
you
we'll have all this footage that we can, oh yeah, we can make epic
We should make it like
videos.
a comedy and kind of like that MXC thing spoof that I did a while back, right? Where we changed the names of, okay, and this here driver is so-and-so, right? Act like there's people in it.
Right.
Make it like
Man,
that.
I just watched, I don't know what I was watching, but you were out, it was about a 20-minute movie, and you were out in the middle of the woods, and you had a bottle of water and a pack, and then you laid down and you went to sleep, but this shit happened to you, and it was fucking crazy, man.
Right. That's when I kind of slipped into the other fucking dimension, supposedly, right? And that's when he was like, he looks in the fucking sun, my character. Sun's going down, so he tries to get out and he keeps going in circles. That one, yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Mean too. And he tries to stay there and the ghost fucking gets him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun little film. I actually did that based on a story that one of my dad's friends told us that happened to him in the woods. The whole bullshit didn't happen. The only thing that happened in his story was that something was blowing the matches out as he tried to light the fire, right? And he actually said those exact words. If you don't stop blowing my fucking matches out, I'm gonna start shooting. And he pulled his 357 out and set it on his lap, right? And fucking tried to light it again. Right? And he said he fucking did the exact, he didn't do the exact same thing. He actually just literally shot across from him. He didn't canter the barrel up. He didn't have any second thoughts of shooting somebody in the woods. That was all part of the story, right? And so I don't know if I put that in the film, but that's in the story that I tell, right? And so fucking boom, fired across. And he said all he saw was the whites of something's eyes, right? And he knew it wasn't an animal. It was these were human eyes that he saw, right? But the thing, if it got shot, it didn't cry out. All it did was, he said, as soon as he shot, it was like ripping through the woods around him in a circle, and freaking, he just blocked it out, right, and just started to light the fire. That's what he concentrated on, get the fire going, right, and so he got the fire going, and he literally kept the thing going by every fucking little twig and branch that he could scrape up in the area that in the perimeter that he could see, right? Somehow kept it going till morning, he says, which is a short night in the middle of summer. Like I said, there's only a few hours of real darkness. And so believable enough. And he said that after that, he fucking bounced out of there and never went back, right? And so
wow. Yeah, that was awesome.
Right. I used that story as the basis of what happens to my little character, right? He fucking, the thing was blowing out his fire and he fired.
Sure, dude.
But
no, that was a trip, man. I'm glad I got to hear that story.
Yeah,
but and that was a good little movie too. I don't know. I like that truck. Whoever's was that a Power Wagon?
Yeah, that was Brian's Power Wagon. Everybody says that, man. They're like, I need that Dodge.
That's a badass truck, dude.
Yeah. It was dope. Freaking, I remember he helped me film a lot of that, right? Because he knew I was into TV and all that stuff. And when I came back, I was like, all right, bro, I'm going to make a movie. You're saying you want to fucking do some of the shit with me? Are you down? He's like, fuck yeah, let's do it. And we shot. That's why I had a cameraman for a lot of the shots, right?
Yeah.
He shot most all of it in the first day, but he got cold and shit and said, man, we got to quit, right? And luckily we had caught that moose down there at the end of the road, right? You could see the moose in the starting when he got out of the truck, literally moose in the background. But yeah, we shot most of it with the camera and him, and then you could see the parts where I was just had tripod set up because I went back the next day by myself and filmed the ending with the whole and so that's how that went.
Hold on, my dog.
Doggies.
Stop.
I like doggies.
Yeah, my wife got home. Oh.
Well, so we're at 3 hours right now.
Unreal.
Damn.
Sorry about that. Yeah, we're at 3 hours.
Yeah, 3 hours. We made fucking 3 hours. It seems like fucking 20 minutes, right?
I know.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Super stoked.
We had John.
Things are looking really good here for as far as the weather goes this year. It's looking like it's a good cross mix, which is good because that leads to a good summer. Last year we had like a fucking massive dry spell right in the start of the spring, and it fucked everything up. And then it just rained from then on. It was so fucked up. So this year, it's looking like a normal year, which will probably lead to some pretty good weather, is what I'm hoping. Alaska weather. If you don't like it, wait 15 minutes. It'll change.
That's what they say about Arkansas. Same thing. If you don't like it, 5 minutes, it'll change.
Yeah, we got that in common. So no doubt.
You never know what might happen here.
But yeah, it's going to be all about whatever you want to do, bro, is what we're going to do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so
we'll just play it by ear, you know, man. We'll the only thing we're going to try to plan is the car jump thing.
Yeah, the car jump. That's going to be the fucking highlight.
You know.
It's right down there by the Chickaloon Village. I know the guys from Chickaloon too, right? Old family friends. And I know the chief, the very chief of the Chickaloon tribe. It's right out there by Chickaloon. And so basically where we're going, the windy little road, what they call the old road. It's Highway 1, right? Here we are. Our highways only have like single digits.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's the old way. The one that goes towards my property and then out to Glen Allen. And then it goes either down to Valdez, which goes to out of state to the Alcan. And then, or it goes up. Or no, what did Valdez goes down and then you go up and then cut over to Canada or make it to Fairbanks, which is where my sister lives and where a lot of my family up here lives. And that's the fucking freeze hole, right? The place that gets 50 below in the winter consecutively, right? Even the land at the lake has a time in the winter when it's like constantly about 40 below, right? Which sucks. Yeah, how are you gonna live in that shit?
Wow.
Yeah. That's why it's mostly a summer thing out there at the lake.
I imagine.
Yeah. Fuck that shit in the winter. But yeah,
wow.
You're coming up at the best time is the summer, which I tell everybody, come in the summer, you're going to have a fucking blast. You fall in love with Alaska because it's going to be like that IMAX movie you saw, but in 3D, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's smell-o-vision.
Yeah. That's what's going to be the deal. I can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be so much fun if we actually do score this fucking one of these little jalopies to launch.
Oh,
yeah.
And then we'll get the like you said, we'll get the access, everything.
We gotta make
but for anybody who's watching, you can go to 1320 videos, Alaskan car jump, and that's a really good video that'll give you the insight on what we're talking about.
Hell yeah. And I watched a few of them, man. They're pretty fucking hilarious. I mean,
yeah, they are
on the news and shit before. They actually tried to do a double launch where they collided in midair. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
And they barely kicked it. Just barely.
Yeah. It just barely. Yeah.
It was a slight collision. They hyped it up like collision midair. But fuck, it's just a slight graze. But they did collide. So.
Well, I'm gonna get off here, brother. I'm tired.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna get something to grub. Thanks so much for joining. Fucking A, man. I look forward to the next live stream you're gonna do. Is that tomorrow? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do one on the Doc channel because I can't even access the Jack channel. So I think that's why my phone died. Yeah, unfortunately, Kristen got me all those subs, and now I can't even go live on that channel.
Man, shit, piss, fuck, right? I know.
So I'll just have to go
here ourselves, right?
Yeah, I'll just do it on the Doc channel. You know, people will understand.
Hell yeah, dude. The core will be there. That's all.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The regulars always show up, so it's always good.
Okay.
All right, brother. Well, hey, 3 hours. Love you, man. I'll see you.
I'll be seeing you soon. Cheers.
And I'll call you. I'll call you.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
All right.
Because
I'm gonna have to.
A couple details. Anyway, like as far as that goes, Google, baby. You Google my address. Fuck, it'll tell you exactly how to get here from the airport.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
it'll be easy.
It's easy peasy.
Yep. Yeah. All right, brother.
All right, brother.
All right, take it easy.
See you later. All right, folks. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this out myself and get myself some grub. And I thank you for coming here and checking it out. I'm going to encourage you to get out there and boost your immune system now, if not by a bee sting, by bee sting therapy here, which is awesome. And thanks, Matt, for sure, for coming on and sharing with us. That was amazing. And the testimony is unreal. And also, I'm still hoping to get a little bit of a B recording from you, if that's cool. Maybe gave just one of those. I was thinking if you just had like one of those digital recorders, the little small things like we used for ghost hunting. Click that sucker on and put it inside the beehive when they're fanning, like you're saying, and fanning their wings, and get that frequency for however long I can get. If it's an hour, that would be sick, because I can record it and put it in a loop, and then I want to start listening to this when I go to sleep, and that'd be totally sick. It's an experiment I want to try, and luckily I know a beekeeper, right? And because I don't know, I mean, there was one guy in Hawaii that I met that was doing that too, but that was in Hawaii, too far away. All right, sweet, Matt. He says, I'll definitely get you some bee noise. I want some too. Awesome. Yeah, for sure. I think this is a very interesting thing, and I'm definitely down to try it. Anything that can make you increase your health in any way, shape, or form, you know, I'm totally down for. And before I bounce out, I'm going to show you my new shirt that I got at a local bar called Floaters. Used to do an open mic. It's up in Big Lake. Okay. See, check it out. It says, sorry, I missed your call. I was on my other line. Right? The freaking fishing line. He's got a fish on. And I saw that and I was like, dude, that's sick. I'll take one. And so I'm gonna take it and chop it up, chop the sleeves off probably, and do some bleach burning to it and make it totally sick here in the coming days. But that's a pretty good base. And so, all right, right on. Thanks for joining. Like I said, boost your immune system now. Go and get some of these supplements you're going to need. Stockpile them. Get some food that you're going to need too. Get some storable food. You can use that as currency in the collapse. And also, you know, get some filters, water filters, and go out and have some fun. That's the good old days, baby. Get yourself a steak or something that, you know, going to be made of insects in the future. So you want to get some real beef in you right now. And enjoy until, you know, the fateful day when we'll all know it, because that was going to be the line to the little freaking premise of the little story I was going to write is everybody remembers where they were the day the dollar collapsed, right? And so be ready. Keep your mind ready. If you can't afford any of those supplements, you can get out in the cold water. Limited cold water exposure will boost your immune system to a superhuman level, something that I like to practice as well. You can try that. Find yourself a nice nature spot where you can get in the cold water. And so, right on. Thanks, everybody, for joining. And I look forward to seeing you next time. I'll try for Wednesday. I don't know. I'll be working. Might be a little bit late on Wednesday. And I look forward to seeing you then. So have some fun.